here now. Let's have some fun.
Everyone would be better off if I was never born. Last Christmas still haunts me.
Who are you? I'm Henry Waters. You're safe now. He's not gonna get you. I give you Christmas.
I'm the janitor over at the university. Something didn't seem quite right. Damn kids. They can all go to hell for I care.
This isn't natural, and it sure as hell ain't legal. We are not gonna stay here and be eaten by zombies! Cadavers! Okay, FYI, this could be dangerous, so let's all just stick together.
Angel strikes every couple of weeks.
How can that be?
You'll be safe now.
Yes, y'all, it's going down right now. Episode 249 of the Triple Shots and Moodz and Horror podcast is coming at you live and direct with the homies, JP and Mr. Saucedo. And of course, I be your host, Moodz. Yeah. What's going on, dudes?
Yeah.
Yo, we back at it for the Christmas show.
The Christmas season is back up on us. Yeah. I love this time of year, man.
I can't believe how fast this snuck up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe how fast it's already gone.
Just every year, like, I think I'm gonna like be responsible and like buy presents like a normal person at an appropriate time, and then every year this happens when like, oh, I got to do that this week, I guess.
Oh my God, dude, I've been done my shopping. Well, I got like one or two things, like small things to pick up, but I've been pretty much done my shopping for like a month. Because I hate the final, like I hate the final rush and shit. It's just so busy. I just don't want to be out there. So get it done early and then just kind of enjoy this time and shit. More time for rum and eggnogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm going to try to get it done like early this week.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally have like just one or two things to pick up. It's not even a big deal. It'll take me 2 minutes, but yeah, Christmas is upon us again. What is this, like our 10th Christmas special? I think this is probably, well, I shouldn't say it's probably one of the first ones that we didn't actually have like a listener's poll, so where they could choose the films. But I mean, in retrospect, like
first one in a while. We kind of retired that for the holiday things.
Yeah, but I mean,
now.
But to be honest, like two of these films, Calvarie from 2006 and Cadaver Christmas, was always on the cusp of being picked anyway. So that's kind of why we chose
Actually,
it for the show.
Calvarie was picked.
Is that one of the ones that we did that we so didn't do because last year's shit all
not last year but the year before we had a show planned for Calvaire, The Lodge, and Elves,
right?
And we ended up not actually recording that show. So last year we did Elves, this year we did Calvaire, and then maybe next year we'll do The Lodge with whatever other two films. But I did want to ask you guys, I think next year what we should do, since we've had like 10 solid years of Christmas reviews, is for the Christmas show, actually, we should do a top 10 Christmas horror films.
I'd be super down with that.
Instead of doing reviews, just do a top 10.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I think we should do like for the episode that posts like the week of Christmas, we do the top 10 Christmas films. And then the week before that, we could just do like a 3 reviews for Christmas. We do like 2 type Christmas shows.
Yeah.
Like top 10 shows are just a ton of fun. Like
right. And I've always planned on doing like branch out and do like other. I mean, me and Moodz have always planned on doing other top 10s and not just like year top 10s. Like obviously we want to do like our top 10 like vampire films and stuff like that. But it's just finding the right time to slide it in. But I think now is appropriate for Christmas.
Yeah, we totally discussed that because I really wanted to do like a top 10 like werewolf show or something like that.
Yeah.
And then so this would be good start with Christmas. Why not? Top 10 Christmas horror films.
And as you can tell from the statistics that I posted to Tyler and you, but I don't think you've seen them. The top 10 shows pretty much dominate our our most listened to shows. Like, I think
People love
out
lists.
of the top 10 most listened to shows, 8 of them are top 10 shows.
Lists are so much fun, and absolutely nobody deep dives like you. Like, absolutely no one.
Yeah.
I was explaining to people that, like, when we do these, we watch like 75 plus movies, and they were like, "Holy shit! Like, you guys are insane."
Yeah, exactly.
So let me guess, the other two in the top 10 are probably franchise shows.
Correct.
Right.
Do you want to take a guess at what 2 franchises they are there? Now, keep in mind, it would most likely be stuff that we did 2021 and beyond, because
Scream is one of them.
Nope.
Really? Wow.
Nope.
It's just such a popular franchise. You think people would click on that, but then again, and maybe it's so popular people don't want to click on it. I don't know.
Yeah, you would think that would get extra hits now too, with like the new Screams coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I'm sure it's
Paranormal Activity and Saw, maybe.
Nope.
Wow, I have no idea.
I don't remember. I don't think I looked this deep into it.
It's actually Return of the Living Dead.
What?
And the other one was The Evil Dead.
Oh yeah,
Evil Dead makes sense.
Yeah,
But
Return of the Living Dead really
is definitely a surprise. Maybe they search Evil Dead and they also get that comes up, and they're like, "I'll listen to this one too."
The review I got in like 4 words because Dave said literally every single thing that I was going to say, and I'm like, well, fuck. What the hell is there to say?
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, he like literally.
What our number one show is of all time. Now, keep in mind again, from 2011 on, when we made the transition from horophilia, because we basically
at one point it was either the Ilsa show or it was the I Spit on Your Grave show.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be the Ilsa show now, because when we move over to the new thing, it would only count listens from 2021 on. So that would be a lot of ground to make up.
Right.
But I'm talking about on our through Spotify / downloads, like Apple Podcasts, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Since 2021. So it would be shows posted 2021 and forward, most likely.
Right.
It's the top 10 show. What do you think it is?
Top 10 of 85. The one 85, right?
I'm trying to remember what we did in this time. I can't even remember. Dude, we've done so many shows. I'm so bad with like show.
Was it 94?
No, it's actually most surprising one that it could be is 2005. Tyler, you should have known that because we talked about it yesterday.
Oh,
2005. Really? Did we do 91?
I don't want to get into the plane ride from hell. Oh my god, dude! My brain is fried yesterday.
Yeah, 91 should have been during that era, I think.
Yeah.
But 2005, that's our most listened to show, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, man, people love lists, man. I always say lists are for dummies, but you know,
I mean, I love lists. Those are my favorite.
No, I love lists too. They're just fun to
to
seek out and you know, kind of go through and talk about. Like I never take lists seriously, but you know, some people take it.
When people get mad about your list, like that's when it gets kind of cringe.
Dude, it's so funny when people tell me where I should have stuff on my favorite list. I'm like, oh, so you know my taste better than me? Okay, that's fucking weird. These aren't best of lists. Come on. But anyways,
just like a best of list to everyone is even just going to look completely different.
Yeah. And that's what I'm looking for when I check out lists too. I just want to see the you know, the variety. I want to see the difference in lists and stuff like that. It's always interesting. Yeah. Like I don't look at people's lists and go, hey, that movie's fucking terrible. Like if it's on their list, they like that movie. So that's what counts, right?
And that's why like it's really cool that you get like we get 5 people to do it. And it's like 5 people with different tastes, and you comparatively see what makes everybody's list and like where stuff lands on everybody else's. It's kind of cool and like gives you a way larger scope.
Yeah, I like when Dave does the stats for like our shows, because even last year, like we had a lot of unique films and stuff. Like the lists were quite different last year for the year-end show, weren't they? I think that was one that we had a lot of different films, but I think this year might be.
I feel like this year, I think it'll be a lot different this year. So I don't think there's any like real consensus, like at all.
No, this year definitely doesn't have it. To me, it feels like there's no like bona fide like, you know, kind of, you know, that one film that most of us are going to have is like number 1 or 2 or something like that, right? I just feel like there's not that film.
I don't think there's like anywhere close like a bona fide like top tier.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess it depends. Like, I mean, I like a couple films more than a lot of other people, and vice versa and things like that. So I mean, I can think of like at least one film that I know it's going to be on probably all of our lists. Yeah. But if it's as high as one or two,
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Really? Yeah, we'll save it for a couple weeks, man. We're doing the show in a couple
honestly, of like
did something big come out that I'm missing? I can't remember.
There's literally only one I can I would say for sure would be like that I have on my list right now that would make all of ours.
Huh. Okay, interesting.
I mean, well, okay. I mean, I'm thinking maybe like When Evil Lurks might pop up on most people's lists. I'm thinking.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet, so
it's just kind of one of
I think that's going to be a strong. But I can also see somebody not liking that movie. I don't think it's so good that someone would be like, don't have.
There's definitely people that like that movie more than I did. Like I saw a lot of like 9 out of 10s and 9.5 out of 10s and shit, and I was like, well, I wasn't even that high on it, but then again, I've only watched it once, but it was good.
I think we're at a point too where people are like starving to give something like just like this is the one.
Yeah,
just, we've had a drought. Like we haven't had just like that big like culturally like this movie fucking rules movie in a couple of years.
Yeah, I know this year has been. I mean, it's after we read out like all the films that were coming out from Bloody Disgusting last week and stuff, it felt like oh yeah, this year's gonna get a little bit stronger, and I don't know, man. I kind of took a step back with my thoughts. I was like, I don't know, man.
This week I kind of had a step back too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually watch a whole lot of 2012. Oh, actually, no, I did watch a couple. I watched 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess 5 technically with It's a Wonderful Knife, which we'll be talking about later on in the show. So yeah, I watched 5 2023 films this week, which is interesting. Most of them were decent to okay. One was pretty shitty. I don't recommend watching Natty Knox. That was pretty shitty.
Okay, wasn't on my list.
Yeah, that one, good cast, but no.
I got an 8. Yeah, I got an 8 for 2023.
You watched 8? Wow, crazy. Yeah, I watched a couple stinkers. Yeah, like Natty Knox and Where the Devil Roams, I didn't like at all. Did you guys end up watching
Where the Devil Roams was pretty cool.
I couldn't get into it, dude. The movie just bugged me, man. I liked the idea of it, and I liked the cinematography. I thought it was shot pretty well and stuff. And I don't know, there was just something about the way it was constructed, like with the flashbacks and just the start, like just the way it played out and shit. I couldn't get into it, man. I really couldn't. Did you guys end up watching The Sacrifice Game?
No, I didn't watch that. That's on my list.
Didn't watch that one.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I thought
I didn't really care for it that much. I can see people liking it though, but it's just so predictable, man. I was like, it kind of hurt it for me, but I just didn't really.
Yeah, Lord of Misrule. I literally there was a point in the movie where I was like, I know how this is gonna end, and I tapped my iPad to see how much time had elapsed, and it was 13 minutes and 31 seconds, and
oh my God, that's ridiculous. Yeah, so I guess overall this week wasn't actually that strong. I did watch The Passenger, which I really liked. I thought that was pretty good.
I think my winner for the week was the Hell House movie. I thought that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Yeah, I watched it a couple weeks ago. It was pretty solid, man.
Yeah, I thought that movie was like actually genuinely creepy, and like the way they kind of like, I don't know, I just like they have a way of like spellbinding reality into it. I really liked it.
No, there is some creepy ass parts in it, man. I know what you're saying, man. Like I was generally getting creeped out with that shit too, man. I kept reading online that like, oh, the acting's so bad in this. Like it was like, oh my God, really? Because you guys know my thoughts on found footage films.
I don't think there was I'll bang on bad acting. I really don't think the acting was bad at all in this.
No, and like honestly, if the acting was bad in it, it would have really suffered. It makes these movies not work, right? It just doesn't fucking work if it doesn't feel real. So, but I thought it was really well done. Like the acting was good, and it was like, fuck, man, it was kind of intense in parts and shit, man. It was solid, man. So got no.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was solid for sure.
Yeah, definitely better than the sequels, because we did the trilogy, right? I guess that's another roundup one, JP, that we got to do.
Which one?
The new Hell House movie, because we did the trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we do that with Mr. Snore Merriman?
I think it was.
And I think he fell asleep on the show too. Like literally fell asleep.
That's funny.
Have you guys heard of The Passenger? Oh, I mean, I think we talked about it last week was it on the Bloody Disgusting list? I can't remember, but it's got Kyle Gallner in it and shit.
It sounds familiar.
Not sorry, not ringing.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This is on my list. That's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's. I thought it was pretty good. Decent watch, anyways. So, but yeah, no, not overly the strongest fucking week for.
We're at a point. Yeah, I'm at a point right now of 2023 where decent is making my list.
I know, man. I'm just getting freaked out. Like I seem to be ticking off all these films.
I haven't even started putting mine together yet.
So like I have like a loose ranking. And last week I was at like, okay, I have like 6, maybe 7 movies I'm really happy with to put on my list. And then it's exactly the same this week.
But this is the problem though. We're struggling to get 10 official films to get on this list.
Like,
where in
I watched 8 and I thought like
I don't think I'm struggling that bad. I feel like I'll easily start with 8.
Man,
I think.
I want to feel like really, really like, even a couple years ago, I remember I had like 22 films that were going for like 10 spots. I'm like, man, all these films could be in my top 10. Like, I just don't even have close to that type of like quality.
Yeah, I have like probably 5 or 6. I'm not embarrassed to like have on my list or anything. Like,
totally.
They're pretty good, but like there's only like 6 to 7. I'm like, yeah, this movie is a standout.
Yeah. So what 23 films did you watch this week? So like me, not a very strong one.
I watched one of them you liked that we talked about last week actually. But I watched Raging Grace. I thought that was decent. I watched The Bone Woman. I watched Woman of the Photographs. Both those I thought were kind of Then I watched Hell House. I thought that was decent. We got to It's a Wonderful Knife. Then I watched Lord of Misrule, which I thought it was decent. I watched No One Will Save You after that. It was the movie I really didn't like. It just didn't work for me at all.
Oh, the Alien film. Yeah.
And then I just finished There's Something in the Barn. I thought that was all right.
Yeah, it didn't work for you.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I actually kind of enjoyed it, man. It held my attention. So
it didn't like not hold my attention, but I just felt like it was trying to do like so many different things, and it could have I felt like if it just focused on like the alien home invasion part, like you could have had like a tight, like tense thriller that would have been a lot cooler. And I kind of just thought like the whole part where she didn't talk was really strange. Like I really don't know what it was adding, because like there's definitely parts like you said where I would have like yelled. Well,
they're going for the whole Twilight Zone episode, right, where there's like no dialogue. I think that's what they were playing off of.
Oh, that probably is. I didn't know about that, but as so someone as me that's like watching as an outsider, which is probably the case for most people. I also think it's weird. It's like
well, that's what I say when I kind of gave that like mini brief thoughts on it. I thought it was strange too, because like not like even if you're by yourself in a situation like that, you're probably going to say something out loud. Right?
Yeah, you would at least yell.
Like the average person would say something. It just seems so weird that she doesn't even say one fucking word.
I thought she was supposed to be mute, and I missed something that they just didn't tell us. But then she like has a line of dialogue or two right there, and I was just like, what the
Did you watch anything this week, JP? 23s?
Yeah, I did. Not a lot. I had a really slow week this week. I watched There's Something. I actually 2 new Christmas movies. I watched There's Something in the Barn. So Tyler watched that as well. There's Something in the Barn. I actually really enjoyed that one. It's basically a family moves to, was it Finland, Tyler?
I think it's Norway.
It is Norway.
Yeah, it's Norway.
We talked about that last week, actually.
Yeah, and did we talk about this movie last week?
I think you brought it up last week.
You actually said you brought it up last week. That's I was like, I'll just watch
so
this.
I watched it last week then. Okay, never mind. I can't remember. So then I watched A Creature Was Stirring, which is a new 2023 Christmas horror film as well.
Oh, I got about halfway into it and I fell asleep.
Oh, really?
That's assuring.
This one, it follows a mom and a daughter who are like out on Christmas Eve, and 2 like sort of intruders like break into their house. You get the sense that the mom is like protecting the daughter from the outside world or something. Maybe something's wrong with the daughter. And I will say this, the Christmas vibe is really thick in this one. I did like the lights and all the Christmassy feel. It goes into weird territory though. It's kind of ridiculous.
I don't like I said, I got about halfway in it. I still got to finish it, but like I wasn't really buying Taylor Scout Compton as like a fucking like a highly religious girl for some reason. Like right away, it just made me laugh. I'm like, she just does not fit this part at all. I felt like she was totally miscast in this movie.
I didn't even fucking realize that was her until like halfway through the movie.
Okay, I noticed right away because I remember because I clicked on it. I was like, what movies? I'm like, oh yeah, it's a new Taylor Scout Compton movie. And then like I started watching. I was like, Scout Taylor Compton, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, she's totally miscast in this movie. So I didn't fall asleep because I wasn't enjoying it. Like I thought it was getting really weird. And like the shit that was going on was like, what the fuck? I just had a really, really long week at work. I mean, it's Christmas season, right? So we're busy as flying fuck. And I was tired as hell. Yeah. So it's nothing to do with the film itself. I'm actually looking forward to finish. I might even finish it after we record tonight because I only got about 40 minutes left in it. I think it was starting to get pretty twisted when I passed out. So, but
yeah, it's not like the best movie in the world, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. It's a very small movie. I thought the lead was an interesting casting choice. I actually thought she, like the mom character, I actually thought she did a really good job as well. Mm-hmm. Not typically like the type of role that, actor that you would cast in that role, but I thought it worked really well. And yeah, so that one, another Christmas film, I'm always happy with that. There's a lot this year. It's kind of crazy.
There's a lot. Yeah.
And then I did check out Infinity Pool finally, Brandon Cronenberg's new movie. That one, after I finished it,
did you watch the uncut version?
I did not. I only found this out afterwards from listening to a podcast talk about.
There's only a couple parts. Like I don't know what the difference is because I didn't see the theatrical cut.
I hear the big difference is like you see a penis being jerked off.
Right. And I knew right away. I was like, well, that's obviously not the theatrical. I mean, this part obviously isn't. So like, you know it right away that it's something that I think that was with Possessor too, right? There was a couple parts like that with dinks and shit.
Yeah.
So there was a couple dicks in Possessor, I think.
Yeah. So what did you think of?
I totally forgot all about that there was an uncut version out there. But Infinity Pool, so after it ended, I was like, that was kind of interesting. Very Brandon Cronenberg, feels right up his alley. And totally. I was like, but I'm kind of probably more with a couple other people that I didn't think it was really that great. And then like after a few days had passed and I was still thinking about it, I raised my rating and I was like, I actually really like that movie.
I can't wait to rewatch it.
It's like one of those movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it.
The same thing happened with Possessor too. Like it took me, I had to like let it marinate to really like appreciate it.
Well, it's a lot to take in because it's strange and it's so different. But that's what I like about Cronenberg, baby Cronenberg, is that like he's got really unique narratives like his father did, right? Like they're just so they're so unique, and like that's what just sucks me in, man. Like I just cannot stop. I'm like, man, it's just so refreshing to see a director doing something so different and shit like in this day and age, because I mean, there's millions of movies that are made every single day and it's amazing you can come up with a narrative like this and be like, holy fuck, it's so different, but honestly, I disagree with a lot of things that people said they didn't like about the film, that they actually literally said that were kind of bad and shit. And I was like, well, I don't know about that, but it is what it is. They all have different tastes and shit. And I got sucked into this movie so easily. And I was like, fuck, man. But, I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit biased. So also because like Antiviral and Possessor are like two of my favorite films in like the last like 10, 12 years. Right. I love those two films. So,
I think it's better than Antiviral, but not as good as Possessor.
Yeah, I agree. I
like
agree with that also.
I like that. The thing that I like about Brandon Cronenberg so far with these three films is he's kind of hitting this niche that I feel like is kind of a void, and that's like sort of this sci-fi horror niche that's
very true.
The sort of Twilight Zone, Black Mirror type thing that doesn't really get made in movie form very much anymore.
Right.
At least not in a more mainstream way, because his last two films have had like some mainstream success. But I like that all of his films feel like they're taking place like a couple years into the future, or like just on the grand scale of time, like they're not quite futuristic. I guess they kind of are, but they don't feel like so far ahead. They just feel like minutes in the future on like the grand time scale. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I kind of like that about them, where it doesn't feel, it still feels very grounded in our world, but it's clearly like in the future a bit, but it still it feels like not far off. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's kind of what I like about him so far. So I'm actually big fan of him, and I look forward to everything that he continues to do. And honestly, like Mia Goth was really good in this as well.
I think this is her best performance.
Yeah, that's what, like, a lot of criticisms come about her performances. I was like, what the fuck?
No.
Like, that was like the one thing I walked out, not the one thing, but
Like, I can
one
see
major
people being
part of the
annoyed
film
by
that
her
I
and not
loved.
liking her.
Yeah,
But like, she had an assignment and she fulfilled the assignment.
right. Yeah,
I
again,
think she's awesome. Dude.
it all
like
comes
as
down
an
to
actress,
too.
like I think she's super good as an actress, and honestly, like I look forward to every time I see that she's in a movie. Same thing with like Anya Taylor-Joy. And actually, did you guys see the new Mad Max movie? They're making a new Mad Max, and she's like the star of it.
No,
I did not see that.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
I'm always behind on the shit, man. I just saw a fucking commercial today for the new Color Purple movie. I was like, what the fuck? They remade that movie?
I would totally.
Isn't it a
okay.
miniseries?
Or it's maybe I was like, what the?
I think it's a miniseries.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. I have no idea. But I was just like blown away. The Color Purple. I was like, they're
I think it's
remaking
a theatrical film.
Yeah, maybe
I could be
it was
wrong.
But anyways, I was like,
Tyler,
wow,
you're a fucking idiot.
They remade the Color Purple. I was like,
They
yeah.
literally show the trailer in the movie theater all the time.
I go to the movie theaters with my headphones and I don't watch trailers.
Okay, Davesy.
Dave's smart for that.
But yeah. So, and the only other thing I watched was I watched It's a Wonderful Life. Oh no, I watched Suitable Flesh as well.
What do you think of Suitable Flesh?
Yeah, I thought it was decent. I've not been like impressed by a Joan Lynch film ever.
I think this is one of his better films, to be honest. Like, and that goes to say kind of like how weak some of his films actually are. Because like I don't think this is spectacular, but I did like it. Like, I mean, Barbara Crampton was good in the film, and it was just fucking weird to see Heather Graham in that role.
Yeah,
like really fucking weird.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I picture her as Roller Girl, man. You know, she's fucking Roller Girl. You know, but I don't know. It was an interesting cast to see Heather Graham in a film, and Barbara Crampton is just trippy to me. But yeah, you definitely had a slow fucking week. That's for sure.
Yeah, I did watch It's a Wonderful Life, which is like over 2 hours. So
yeah, I watched a bunch of random Christmas films. I rewatched Christmas Bloody Christmas. I fucking love that movie, man.
I feel like I watched other stuff that I forgot the logs. It usually hits me because I'm like really bad with keeping up with my Letterboxd logs lately. And like stuff will just hit me like days afterwards. I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot the log.
I do it right away so I don't forget, because I know I've forgotten to do shit like in the past. Like, you know, I'll be out at somewhere watching a film and I'm like, oh fuck, I totally forgot to log that shit.
Oh, I did watch like Half of the Brain too, which is technically a Christmas movie.
The Joe Bob
Brain and Ginger Dead Man.
Yeah.
I got it in a few 2011s too.
Speaking of fucking Charles Band, so Horrorcon just announced Charles Band's going to be there. I'm like, yeah. I met him once at Cinema Wasteland briefly. I didn't get a picture or anything signed and stuff. I just talked to him for like a brief second. But yeah, so I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what am I going to bring to get signed? The guy's done like a million fucking movies. Like, what would you get signed from Charles Band?
What would I get signed from Charles Band?
Yeah.
I would be boring and get Puppet Master signed.
But he didn't even direct that.
He didn't. Yeah.
I mean, I'm retarded. Who directed Puppet Master? Oh, it's the guy that made Tourist Trap, right?
He directed one of the later
Schumacher?
He directed some of the later sequels that are fucking awful.
All right.
He directed all the really.
I don't know then.
He didn't direct a Puppet Master until like the 10th one.
That's what I'm saying.
For some reason, I thought he directed it.
No, he never did that one.
I guess so.
I mean, I could go back real early, maybe get like Parasite signed. That would be kind of interesting. I wonder how many people get Parasite signed. I was working with a very unfamous Demi Moore at the time.
I would get my Charles Band signed certificate of authenticity signed. I have one
That's
of those.
such a meme. I love it.
The Puppet Master trunk is actually signed twice by Charles Band. It's signed on the outside and numbered, and then there's a certificate of authenticity.
Is that the one with all the Puppet Master film, like that really big heavy one?
No. This is the first trunk they ever did.
Oh, okay, that one.
Just Puppet Master, Axis of Evil, and the original Puppet Master.
Right. So I have that big heavy one that weighs like fucking 400 pounds. I should bring that to get signed. That would be annoying to carry around. Hey, can you sign this this locker?
I mean, I guess I would.
You know what I would get signed now that I think about it. But again, I think it fucking comes signed. Is that Empire box or not Empire? The new box that they just did. The hit the first 10 films he produced or something like that.
Right.
Get the Dungeon Master signed.
Yeah, I actually thought of that, Dungeon Master, and like either Parasite or something like that. But I don't know, just something kind of different. But either way, I got to figure it out. So, and they also announced, what's the guy's actual?
Here's what you do.
What's his name?
I'm pretty sure he's going to be selling his book. Just buy his book and have him sign that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, there you go.
He did an autobiography recently. I haven't got to it yet. I did the Don Coscarelli one over the summer, which was really good. But I haven't done the Charles Band one yet.
Nice. Fuck, what the hell's the guy's fucking name? I can't. I'm like totally just having a brain fart right now, man. The actor that plays Billy in Silent Night, Deadly Night. What's his real name?
Billy? I don't fucking know, dude.
You pull that up.
Man, that's so annoying. Anyways, that guy's gonna be there, so I get obviously Silent Night, Deadly Night signed. That's pretty cool.
I would want to meet Ricky.
Robert Brian Wilson is his name.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
I want to meet Ricky, dude.
I just know him as
That's the
Billy.
one I want to meet.
Yeah, Ricky would be cool, man. He actually does conventions, though, doesn't he? I think he does.
Dude, that guy like disappeared forever, and then they found him recently.
Yeah, but then didn't he start doing conventions because of that? Like,
I don't know. I have no clue.
Okay,
but dude, I fucking love. Dude, I love Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. I was watching that the other night too.
Yeah, it's a goofy fucking movie, that's for sure.
The worst thing you could do is watch the first one and then the second one.
Oh yeah, you got to watch one or the other. So
yeah,
I really only watched like a couple 2011 films. I only watched Masks and basically a Cadaver Christmas. That's all I watched this week. Oh, I love Masks.
Is high on my interest level. I've never seen that.
Masks actually, that's one of those weird films that made my top 10 list in 2012. But now
13.
Or 13, because that's when we got the release of it. It was in 2013. It was brand new to us. And now on this retro show, it could be like the first film that's going to pop up on 2 lists if it does make a list.
Yeah,
so that's fucking weird. And that's actually the film that I was referring to, JP. Like, what happens if like I have a film that was on a top 10 list and it's going to be on another one?
Just keep it. Just put it on your 2011 because if we ever finish all of these years, we can always go back and adjust them.
Yep. No, maybe
this is an update.
Maybe 13 just needs to be updated. 13 needs to be updated because I bet you have to film. I bet you there's other films in that list that should.
Well, there's definitely Alice Kills.
Oh yeah, that wasn't supposed to. Yeah, that's right. Because that's 2011.
That's
honestly like I would be surprised if that doesn't make at least one list.
What's the other one? You're Next.
Yeah,
Your Next that was like 11.
Yeah, because we got all those releases that year. That was so weird. Like,
well, now, and this is interesting, right? This is really, I've noticed this, but when we first started the show, 2013, it was very, very common for a film to play festivals and not get distribution for 2 full years later.
Yeah.
Now it's almost, now it's completely down to like 1 year. If a film plays in 2022 festivals, it'll come out in 2022 at the end of the year or 2023. It doesn't really happen multiple years later like it used to. But that was very common in 2011, 10, 9. You know,
There just
where
weren't all
a film
these,
would
yeah.
play
It
festivals.
just shows you
and
the
not come
pace
out
of the
for 2
world that we
years
live in
later.
now.
There's just
Right?
there weren't all these streaming networks. Like there's so many places that you can distribute movies now that you just couldn't back then. Like a lot of the
Dude,
times at festivals,
well, it's
they had
even
the-
When we started the show, there was literally Hulu and Netflix.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. But like even with theatricals to like physical media releases now is like a month later.
Oh, it's so fast now.
Remember back in the day, man, it used to take like almost a full year to get like your
With the
tapes.
VHSs, I remember that. The VHS,
Dude, sometimes it was like a year and a half before you'd get to actually rent that shit. But like, and then that started to speed up a little bit. But now it's like I just saw this movie in the theater and the Blu-ray is up for pre-order. Like I've seen pre-orders on physical media when the movie's still in the fucking theater. Like that is crazy shit.
If something like takes like 3-4 months, like Barbie and Oppenheimer did, for example, because they're saving it for like the holiday season,
Right.
like that feels like a long time to me.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. So, but yeah, only 211s, man. Masks. Yeah, I think you'll really dig Masks. It's a German like Neo Giallo, right?
Yeah, that's like I have like 5 or 6 I'm really interested in. That's one of them. I watched that movie The Divide, that book you guys watched. Overall, it was really weird because there's some stuff about the movie I thought was atrocious, and I thought there was some stuff that was like really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up like thinking like it's decent overall, but I think it could have made some better choices. I agree with both of you about like the whole outside thing. Like, yeah, I think it is a total MacGuffin to just like show them that they can't leave the room.
Mm-hmm.
Probably that's where they spent.
But
most
like
of the
in my
budget.
mind,
But also, yeah, I know.
I kept thinking it was
seems
like the most interesting part of the movie was the
exactly.
shit outside.
It seems like something that's going to be a way bigger part of the movie.
Yeah,
and like it seems like the movie's going to go in a completely different direction.
Especially when you have a child that gets abducted, and then that's the fucking end of it.
Yeah,
like
I know. Like
so
I was
bizarre.
surprised. Like the guy, like he ran in there, like saw the kid, was like, oh shit, and like that was it. No more kid.
It's so weird, right? It's like they just had all these ideas and they just didn't run with some of them. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I just like, I don't know. Maybe it was the casting, but I didn't like. I'm sure you guys know like how just a couple like there's like 3 or 4 characters overall that like I just like. I know they're like coming to like being starring and like going delirious and shit, but people are just acting so fucking stupid. And I couldn't stand that girl's boyfriend. The guy that was like a wuss. Oh my god. I was like, dude, I'm not saying like I'm a tough guy or anything, but like if I was in a situation where like you literally have like these things that are inevitably going to happen to you and your fiance, like I'm gonna fight to the death. Like I'm laying down my life.
What movie are you guys talking about?
The Divide.
Oh well, welcome to the show. He's been on. We've been on this for like 7 fucking minutes.
Well, I wasn't here, so
where'd you go?
The Divide.
I had to answer the door.
Yeah, he was talking about The Divide. So
yeah, I was saying some stuff was really, really, really good, and some stuff was like outrageous to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it.
Overall, I liked it. Like I enjoyed it. I just got like frustrated at some of the writing at one point.
There's a lot of post-apocalyptic movies this year.
Yeah, I was looking at that list too. There's a whole bunch.
From 11, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a good like 4 or 5, I think, at least.
Yeah.
The Taint.
Yeah, I guess so, right? It kind of like is. I think is like The Day. I guess is kind of like one like that too.
Yeah,
The
Day
Hell or
is,
something?
and Hell is as well. Hell is like I forget what country it's from.
Yeah, I've
but
never
it's
seen that one.
not-
I've never seen that film.
I like it. It's pretty cool. Like I said before, I have it under the apocalypse version because Walmart didn't want
Can't allow
it
it
out under Hell.
Yeah.
The Darkest Hour. It looks like an alien invasion movie.
Oh, dude, that bringing up like name changes and stuff. Totally, we pretty much need to delete our channel because we're pretty fucking stupid, dude. Apparently, we were talking about Malum and Last Shift as if it was a foreign movie when it fucking wasn't.
Oh, I know. No, I know. Somebody brought that to my attention. I was like, you know what?
I was like, oh yeah.
I'm like, you're completely fucking right. And like, I even own The Last Shift. And for some reason, my brain was thinking that it was a fucking foreign film. And I swear I was thinking The Last Circus.
Because that's how it normally is whenever things get remade.
Yes.
It's
but like it's so fun, right? Because I might have been thinking of Last Circus when I was thinking of Last Ship, even though I was thinking of Last Ship, but I was thinking of like the foreignness of Last Circus. I don't know what the fuck it was. But like right when he said that, I was like, yeah, you're totally right. We're fucking morons. We don't even know what we're talking about. Why are you guys even here listening? We have no idea what we're talking about ever.
I hadn't seen it. I claim no ownership in this.
Yeah, like I literally have the fucking DVD. I'm so stupid, man. I don't know. It's funny how your brain just remembers things oddly. Like, but I think in my mind, like I said, I was thinking The Last Circus, right?
For some reason, I thought it was fucking Irish, dude. Like, I thought it was an Irish horror film.
But even then, I mean, that's still kind of English.
No, it's definitely English, but it's fucking.
It's out of the country English.
No, I only say that because some Irish films
by the sea English.
When the dude's from fucking Boston, I mean.
Right. Like, I only say that with some Irish films, like you have no choice, but you have to watch a shit with subtitles on because like you can't understand the thing they're saying. Like some of the accents
Irish Boston people are like the greatest Boston people.
Yeah.
The most outrageous Boston types of people.
Yeah. So what else you watch from 11?
Also, real quick, I did want to bring this up too because someone else messaged me about the show. Remember we were talking about that book, the TV horror movie book?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Turns out fucking Vinegar Syndrome sells that book.
Wow.
Because somebody was like, yeah, I just picked it up from Vinegar Syndrome like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
I've never even fucking know.
It's so crazy because I've never seen it on the website. But then again, I usually just go there to grab like the latest packages and stuff. I don't really surf around the site that often. So, but that's cool if you can get it through there. Like, how much is it on the website? Because I saw it on
or something.
Yeah, I saw it on Amazon. I think it's more expensive than that, but yeah. It does look like a pretty cool read though.
Yeah.
I might order. I might take a look at that next time I order something from Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I watched the movie Hard Labor. It's a Spanish, like kind of like. I think it's one of the. You ever like watch one of those movies where you think it's like has something? It makes way more sense to people that are actually like part of the culture.
Yeah,
I felt like one of those movies. I felt
usually
like,
Japanese movies.
But yeah, this movie, I kind of felt like I just like had a disconnect with it because I think it was just way more like culturally relevant than like someone like me watching.
That's what I feel like when I watch Russian films that are kind of political. I'm like, I don't fucking understand Russian politics.
Russians really like poetry, like poetic type of movies and like war movies.
Yeah,
and they love combining the two. And sometimes it's like real heavy and like really Russian.
I know. I always feel like you almost feel so awkward then you're in your basement all by yourself and you're like, I have a huge disconnect with this because I don't fucking understand the thing that's going on.
Yeah,
like you get what you're seeing, but you don't fully understand the true meanings of it because, well, I mean, if you're watching a political Russian film, I have no idea about Russian politics. Hell, I barely even know Canadian politics for fuck's sakes. So, but yeah, like some of the shit just goes right over my head. I'm like, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I've seen a handful of Russian films I think are like legitimate masterpieces, but the only like two I have any desire to like rewatch is that movie Come and See. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen that, but that movie kind of stands out as just being like a really crazy war movie. Yeah. And there's this movie Mirror that's like really more of like a dream like poetic type of movie from like a famous Russian filmmaker. But like I've seen several that I think are great, but like they're just so like they're so far away from like what I understand.
Right.
And like they're so far out of like my usual comfort zone of movies.
It's even like watching like French comedies and shit. Like sometimes their jokes are like, oh, that was a joke.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh fuck, it's like not fucking funny.
There's a lot of like
out of all of the comedy in all of like literally like foreign films that I've seen, I feel like the one that's the most easily understandable is like Korean films.
I agree, dude. I'm so glad you said that. Korean comedy and like
it's like because sometimes comedy. In Hong Kong, because sometimes you watch like a foreign film and you don't know if it's supposed to be funny because you're not like used to how like their tone is with stuff. But like with like South Korean films, I always can like tell the funny parts. And
I just feel like South Korea is very much like North America. It's like, democracy. And I think they just have very kind of maybe like the same types of sense of humors and shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like that.
It does. Like, I get what you're saying because those ones are really easy to pinpoint, like the jokes and stuff for sure. But
like even sometimes, even Italian films, like I'm like, I don't know if that's supposed to be funny or not.
Well, honestly, man, yeah, a lot of Italian comedies, man, I don't find fucking funny because they're almost too goofy for me. Like, I can't do a lot of them, man. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of I'm not a huge fan of like comedic westerns. And there is some like really goofy spaghetti westerns.
That was something I really, there's
like
some
spaghetti.
that works for me.
Yes.
But there's I really noticed that too when I was plowing through spaghetti westerns last month. That I really don't like the ones that are heavy on the comedy.
Me either, man. It's too fucking goofy at times, man. It's just, it takes away from what I want to see and shit. I'm just like, no, it doesn't work for me at all. But yeah, no, Italian comedies.
Though.
And then there's
you ever seen that one? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And there's like literally no such thing as like Russian comedies because they're never laughing at shit.
They don't laugh there. Yeah.
No, they don't have no sense of humor. So, but no, it's like the Germans, man. Like, could you imagine watching like a German comedy? Like, because there's always been a joke about Germans that like they never laugh. They just have no sense of humor and shit like that. So that would be interesting.
There's only like two German or like Austrian filmmakers I know a lot about, and they have no comedy in like any of their movies.
There's like no comedy.
Serious.
It's like a disease. Like they don't want to laugh there. So it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, they're very serious villain.
Very serious. Yeah.
What else? Oh, dude. So I watched It's a Wonderful Life for the first time ever.
That's so crazy, dude. That's so crazy.
That movie is fucking pretty good, man.
It is, man. Yeah. It's such a good movie.
Yeah. It's really good. It reminded me of my own life a lot, which is funny. But yeah, no, that movie, I wanted to watch it because if It's a Wonderful Knife is sort of riffing on it, I wanted to know some. Oh,
it's essentially the same setup, right?
Yeah, it's a core idea, which we've seen a million times in a million different things outside of that as well.
Do you feel like people made it out to be like it was way more of a riff on it than it was?
Yeah, I do. That's why that's what I meant where I was like, it's just kind of takes the core idea.
That's why I didn't really bother just rushing to rewatch it, because I wanted to go see it in a movie theater the night last week, but I didn't get to go that night because I had to be at some sort of dinner. But so I was gonna watch.
It was so weird watching the colorized version.
Yeah, if you're going from black, I've only seen black and white.
I've never seen the colorized version before.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've seen this movie my whole life too.
Yeah, I was telling Tyler I have it on 4K. And I just was watching the 4K, and then I think I had a half hour left or something, or a little more maybe. And I forget why I switched over to streaming, but I don't know if I was at a different place, but I can't remember. But I finished it on streaming, and it was in color, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
That's so weird.
Yeah, but I've seen a couple colorized films like Night of the Living Dead and a couple other ones. This is by far the best one I've seen. It looks like I don't think you'd be able to tell if you didn't know.
Right.
Yeah. I can see it being really good in this one. Because there's not anything that's special about the black and white. It's not like it's noir or something.
I think the only thing that really stands out that works better in black and white is the whole bridge sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it looks more scary and cold, Right.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
But yeah, no, that movie's good, man. I like it. That I have A Miracle on 34th Street here on Blu-ray. I've never seen that one either. Might give
the original.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
It's a good movie. Original one. Yeah.
I definitely got to check out Vacation this season.
I can't. That blows my mind.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray. Might as well take it out after this.
You've seen the original Vacation, right?
No, that's why. I've put it off for.
Oh yeah, we talked about this last.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're not connected really, but you should also.
Yeah, that's why.
Vacation because it's great. Watch it in the summer.
Watch it. I meant to go see it when it played in theaters this summer, and I just missed it. I wasn't I was kind of in a movie rut at the time or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that they were like so connected, like that I would have like missed throwbacks, even if it wasn't like a direct sequel or something. That I just put it off. So now that I know, no excuse.
No, also I watched Christmas Vacation before I ever seen Vacation.
Yeah, I like growing up. I always only heard about Christmas Vacation too,
and I've never even seen the other two.
I want to watch one of them
in Vegas.
The woman who made
You've never seen European?
Fast Times
Oh
at
wow,
Rid-
crazy.
Yeah, the woman that made Fast Times at Ridgemont High made European, so I want to watch it because of that.
I have seen Christmas Vacation 2 though.
Man, I didn't even know.
I was not aware.
I didn't even know National Lampoon's Vegas trip came out until like the mid 2000s.
Did it fucking really?
I had no idea there was a fourth one
That's
forever.
kinda
And I remember
crazy.
I was like, I think I was in
I didn't
like
even know that.
like Walmart or some shit. Like I have no idea. And I saw like a 4-pack of like the Vacation. I was like, there's a fourth movie? There's a Vacation movie? Or there's a fucking Vegas one? I was like, what the fuck? I had no idea. It was just like blew my mind. It was like one of those weird things that I just completely missed. It's strange.
Did you ever have the opposite of that happen where you thought there was a sequel to something and it turns out there isn't?
I think that's happened to me before too.
It's a Mandela effect, bro. I swear to God. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that I watched Mrs. Doubtfire 2 growing up.
Well, I
Swear
mean,
to God, man.
these things happen, right? I was dead fucking set on Last Shift was a fucking foreign movie, so crazier things happen, right? Oh, Jesus,
Yeah.
man. It's
And
just weird
I
how your
swear
brain
there
works.
was a Little Rascals 2 as well.
There's not?
No. Not that I know. But you know what there is? This is fucking fascinating. So, Moodz, do you remember how like 2 years ago, we went to Cinema Wasteland and we were supposed to go to the Christmas Story house, but I died.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's more than just like a couple of those?
What do you mean? Like the actual house?
No, movies.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah,
I only thought there was two.
there's a Christmas Story 2, and then there's the brand new one that came out, I think, last year with Ralphie all grown up and shit like that.
No.
Oh yeah, I knew
no,
that.
bro. No.
What's that?
Oh, there's
No.
more than that.
There's more than that, really, because I actually have Christmas Story, well, obviously 1 and 2, and then I've never seen the latest one because I think it was streaming like on Hulu. I don't know, we just some streaming network I didn't have, so I've actually never seen the new one. But there's more than 3.
Yeah, there's 8.
What the fuck? What are you talking about? Like, are these official
Yeah.
sequels or?
No, they follow the Parker family, right? So there were 2 before A Christmas Story.
What? Okay, my mind is blown right now.
Oh, I get what you're saying. There's a series of movies that follow the Parker family, and then this is just one in the line of them. It's the third one called A Christmas Story, but nobody remembers the other Parker movies. They just latch onto A Christmas Story because obviously
I had no idea.
it's Chris.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I
me
didn't
neither.
either. I just understand what he's saying.
So after we went to because me and Carly did go like a couple months later when we went and visited Dave, we went to the Christmas Story house too. And we found this video on YouTube that went through like all the movies. Like it was like, did you know that there were like 6 Ralphies or something, or 7 Ralphies?
Dude.
So
nice.
the first one is called The Phantom of the Open Hearth from 1976.
What the fuck?
Wow, that's so crazy. You learn something every day, man.
Yeah. The second one is called The Great American 4th of July and Other Disasters from 1982. And then 1 year later, we got A Christmas Story, Bob Clark's. And then in 1985, The Star-Crossed Romance of Josephine Kosnowski. And then 1988, you have Ollie Hoppin' Noodles, Heaven of Bliss. And then this is the only other one that I knew existed before the new ones. That is It Runs in the Family, My Summer Story, which also was directed by Bob Clark. It's kind of more of like an official sort of sequel type thing. Have you guys seen that?
No.
No, I'm looking at these all now. I hadn't even heard of any of these.
I actually grew up with that one, My Summer Story. It's actually pretty decent. It is nowhere near as good as A Christmas Story, but for 10 years later, it's actually like pretty cool. It just basically follows the summer after Christmas.
Kieran Culkin in it and Mary Steenburgen. That's cool.
And then A Christmas Story 2 from 2012, which I hear sucked. Jesus. Sorry. And then A Christmas Story Christmas, which was pretty good. Did you watch that one? Christmas Story Christmas?
No, I just said I couldn't. I didn't have access. It was streaming on some network that we didn't have or whatever. So
Yeah, I
I
didn't
haven't
see
gotten
it
around to
either.
seeing it. No,
Yeah, it was
I've
good.
actually heard from a few people that it was actually pretty decent. So that's crazy.
Yeah, it was. It really was. It felt it captured the vibe, like it captured what I kind of wanted out of it. It wasn't perfect, but like it definitely delivered on like the feels.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, who fucking isn't that crazy though, bro?
No,
Yeah.
dude, I am speechless. I had no idea. No idea.
I was like looking these up as you were talking about it too, and they're just so obscure too.
like I've never even heard any of the titles before. So like it's not even like I saw something in passing or even heard of something. And it's like, wow, no idea.
Yeah, dude, they're very obscure. Like I think the first one was like a made-for-TV film.
Yeah, so it probably has no releases. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's TV
like
films.
none of the cast is like consistent in any of them.
Yeah, I think the guy who like wrote it, they're based on like a novel, which
Yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna say it's
had-
probably based on some like short stories or books.
yeah, that like I guess like the Parker Family was a series of novels or something like along those lines, or reoccurring characters in some dudes.
So like in the earlier
Books.
films, like, so is there actually like a character named Ralphie and shit? Like, do they,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they port? Okay, so like, is he younger or is it just like set in this world where he doesn't? Is it set in the Simpsons world where the kids never fucking grow?
The first one, The Phantom of the Open Hearth, says a middle-aged Ralph Parker introduces the film before the events of the movie. Flashback to the past set during the late 1940s, 1950s America. High school-aged Ralphie prepares for the upcoming junior prom.
Oh, high school.
So yeah, they're all probably movies where like Ralphie's talking about like stories of his childhood
Yeah.
Right.
and just jumps around the timeline.
Right. Well, that's kind of
That's a cool concept. Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I wonder how hard they are I wonder if they're hard to find or if they're on YouTube or something. I'd be curious to watch them just
There's
Yeah.
you know, if all else fails, man, like there is a lot of TV movies on YouTube, man.
Mhm.
It's usually where the best
There
place to
definitely
find them
is.
because there's so many from that era that have never gotten released, right? It's usually like music rights and shit, or just there's no interest. Like, I mean,
Yeah, there's
could you imagine getting like one of these fucking Parker
just
family box
just
sets?
think how popular think how popular like A Christmas Story is, and these are that obscure. Like
Yeah.
the interest level has just got to be so low.
But I mean, if they ever drop like a Parker family box set, I'd be all over that shit, man. I mean, like, this is cool.
They would sell the shit out of that.
I'm sure that the rights are all over the place.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's probably virtually impossible to do. Yeah.
And like if you're attached to, if like you have to negotiate rights to fit everything too, if you're gonna like someone's gonna try to negotiate the deal like holding A Christmas Story, which means it's guaranteed to make money, like there's not gonna be like anything that's gonna work.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, one of the films, Matt Dillon is
Like a young Matt
and-
Dillon.
yeah, Matt Dillon is Ralphie in one of them.
Oh, really?
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Amazing.
dude.
He has some fucking
Ralphie
sexy
tear
plumage.
raking.
Shit, that's awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So what the fuck were we talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about like 23 and 11 films
Christmas.
and shit.
Yeah, we
Christmas
fell down the
film.
rabbit hole of Christmas movies.
Yeah, I mean, I did watch a couple other ones. I watched like Office Christmas Party. I love that movie, man. That shit's fucking hilarious. Bad Santa 2, Violent Night again. Violent Night's fun. Did you guys like that one or not?
Yeah,
it was solid.
Violent-
I watched that last year. I don't remember like a ton about it, but I remember that one guy. Yeah,
It's
I remember
fun.
like the only thing I remember much is the kids being like shitlords, and the guy that like for Christmas was like presenting her with a movie deal.
Yeah, it's just fun. I just like the backstory that they give Santa, that he was like a fucking warrior back in the day and shit. It's cool, man. I like it.
Okay, yeah, I saw it in the theater last year, so I'm a little spotty on it.
Yeah.
I remember
I
thinking
just-
it was like a fun time in the
Oh, it's super.
Yeah,
fun.
there's
It's-
like another similar looking one that came out this year called Silent Night.
I know another movie called Silent Night. I was like, fuck, there was one last year called Silent
Yeah,
Night.
that's
And that
the
movie can
John
suck
Woo
my
movie
dick.
with no dialogue.
That movie can suck my dick, dude. I fucking hated Silent Night, man. That movie is the most depressing fucking movie ever.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh,
Dude,
that's
top
Silent
10.
Night. That movie's cool. Yeah, I like that movie.
Fuck that movie, dude. I was like, I wanted to fucking hang myself after I watched that movie. I was so depressed. It was just like so depressing, man. I was like, oh my God, I would never watch that again. I would never
Those
watch
are like
that
my favorite movies.
I know.
Yeah, dude, I loved it.
No, man, if I was a glutton for punishment,
that movie was good. I
I would
liked it.
totally watch that shit again over and over again. But no, fuck that. Can't do it. But anyways, the point is another Silent Night movie? That's ridiculous.
It's a good title.
I mean, it's obviously it's like,
Was it the mom or the grandma in Silent Night, Beverly D'Angelo? Or not? Yeah, the one that you watched. I think the grandma was Beverly D'Angelo.
oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Going back to the whole vacation connection. Yeah, it is Beverly
It
D'Angelo.
made me
yeah.
laugh. I remember thinking
She's such
that
a
last
bitch
year.
in this movie too. She's such a bitch.
Yeah, she does a great job. She's one of the highlights for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun movie, man. It's essentially like Home Alone meets Die Hard. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's a good way
Right?
to put it.
It's just the two of them mashed up. It's so much fun. So yeah, good time with that, man. And I always laugh at Bad Santa 2. Like Bad Santa 2, I remember when that shit first came out, and I was so worried about it because I love the first one, right? And I'm like, making a sequel so far after the fact usually doesn't work.
Yeah.
But man, Bad Santa 2 was fucking hilarious. It kind of ups the ante of like the vulgarness and shit. And I mean, the addition
and
of
it has
Kathy
like
Bates.
just enough throwbacks too to like make it work.
Oh yeah, but the addition of Kathy Bates being fucking Billy Bob Thornton's fucking mom, who's only 13 years older than him, is the funniest shit ever, dude. And she is filthy as fuck in the movie too. Like, it's so funny to see Kathy Bates, who has like Academy Awards, do a role like this. It's just brilliant. It's fucking brilliant to me, man. And I love Tony Cox, man. Tony Cox always cracks me up, man. He's a funny little dude. But yeah, no, Bad Santa 2 is like, it's just so much better than it should be. And it sucks that it's bombed at the box office and did so poorly, because I think the consensus was if it does well, they'd make a third one, but it did so poorly that I don't think you'll ever see a third one.
Man, I didn't even know it went to the box office.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was reading a thing on it. It was like, it did so bad. And it just, that they killed any momentum to make a third one. So, but who knows? You never know. Somebody might be like, well, fuck it, man. It did good on home videos. So, let's make a third one.
If you can get Billy Bob Thornton for like a reasonable price, I don't see why you couldn't just like make like a low budget one.
Right.
It's not like it's a movie that requires some insane budget either.
It's all you need, man. It's just Billy Bob Thornton and Tony Cox.
Yeah, literally those two, and you need Thurman Merman.
Oh yeah, and Thurman Merman, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sure like he'll do anything for $1 these days.
Poor kid, man. Fucking poor kid.
He's not in anything. Like,
no,
dude, if I was just some regular normal day guy and they were like, "Hey, we'll pay you like your yearly salary times 2 to like be in this movie for 3 months."
He's the fat kid in front in
Trick or Treat. Yeah, but like that's one other thing. I can't think of anything else he's in other than the Bad Santa movies.
Yeah, actually, you're right, man. I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything else. He probably does a bunch of movies that I would never watch either.
He probably does stuff like that, but he's not getting paid much for him. But he's probably just like a regular guy now that's just, but I have a little name value. Sometimes I get to go do a movie.
Right. Fuck. Yeah. JP, have I ever done like a top 10 list of Christmas movies? Probably on here before.
Probably.
But so I didn't really want to I just thought it was kind of funny because I had some fun with that Rotten Tomatoes list that we did a couple episodes back, like just how they were kind of ranked by the fresh and rotten meter or whatever you want to call it. So I did a quick Google, and there actually was a Rotten Tomatoes list of Christmas horror movies ranked. It says 45 Christmas horror movies ranked by the tomato meter. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom here, as I have not checked the list, and because I see number 1 is at the top. So anyways, number 45 is Elves from 1989, and it has 0%.
Impressive.
Dude.
0.
I love
How is that
Elves.
possible? Maybe just doesn't have any reviews.
There's probably like 5 reviews. Yeah.
It says no consensus yet. Critical. I mean, there's got to be one review somewhere. That's bullshit.
There's probably like one. And they're like, this movie sucks, and that's it.
I mean, I definitely know there is. I mean, do they count Letterboxd ones? Because there's definitely reviews on Letterboxd, and I've seen other reviews.
No, I think it's like official, like published reviews.
Okay, so these guys are like fucking Saucedo over here, too pretentious to watch and review Elves. Come on, man.
No, there's the guys that review.
It's got Dan. It's got Dan Haggerty. It's got Dan Haggerty in it, man. Come on. Number 44 is The Dorm That Dripped Blood, also with a 0% on the Rotten meter.
What? Yeah, I wouldn't give that 0%.
No, The Dorm That Dripped Blood's pretty fun.
I've actually never seen that one. I have it on Blu-ray.
It's not reinventing the wheel or anything, but it's not like a bad movie within like the scope of slashers.
No, it's not, man. It's not. And it was a later one. It was 1983, so but it holds its own. Number 43 is ATM from 2012 with a 12% Rotten.
Yeah, that movie sucks.
I think ATM has a great idea. The execution sucks in that movie. And there's things that just don't make sense about it. And I think I rewatched it a couple years ago and I said to myself, I'm like, man, this movie just doesn't work. It just doesn't work the way it should. I don't know. I like the idea of it, but number 42 is the 2006 remake of Black Christmas with a 14%. I can't stand the remake. I really don't like it.
Yeah, I don't think that movie's good at all.
Are you talking about the second remake?
No, that's the first remake from 2006.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Even with this 95 alternate endings, none of them are good. The movie sucks.
No, it's a good movie.
Okay, you can go fuck yourself.
The people cookies.
That's amazing.
Number 41 is a good movie. I use the term very loosely because it's actually not a good movie, but I love it. 1997's Jack Frost, 16%.
Yeah,
it's not a good movie, but I'll watch it every couple of years and have a couple.
I love Jack Frost. It's a terrible. It's actually one of the funnest movies to watch, though, man. Remember how hard we laughed about when we looked up the facts on how much the director spent on the costume for Jack Frost in that film?
No, he told me that on Twitter.
He told you that it was like 180,000 or something. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? We could not fucking figure out how you could possibly spend that much money on that fucking foam rubber suit. It was ridiculous, man. I laughed so hard at that shit, but that movie's just the perfect blockbuster 90s VHS movie that everyone saw on the wall. Yeah, it was that lenticular. It was that fucking famous lenticular VHS cover that stole the show, dude.
Yeah, I always remember that movie, and I always remember Uncle Sam. And I remember finding Uncle Sam on Blu-ray really early in my collecting days and finally watching it. This movie I always wanted to see as a kid. And I was just like, this movie sucks! Yeah,
you're bang on with that shit, man. Jack Frost lenticular cover, the Uncle Sam one, and the Dead Pit with the eyes that lit up on the box.
I don't remember that one. Maybe that one's a little bit before my time.
It is. It's from the 80s. Yeah. It's from the 80s, but that was one of the more memorable VHS boxes I remember because if you press the button and the lights or the eyes lit up, it's fucking cool, man.
Yeah, that was mid 90s was more time. I remember and I remember my mom pulling Scream off the wall and going do you want to rent this one? And I looked at it. I was like, but it's rated R. And she just goes, that's okay. And I was fucking 6 years old.
Wow, crazy. That's good parenting right there. I applaud her. Number 40 is The Mean One from 2022. 17%. Have you guys seen this one? Because this is actually...
I started watching it and I just wasn't paying attention, so I haven't finished it.
I'm sure I've probably seen most of the films on this list, but this is one I definitely have not seen. I actually can't seem to find it. It's I don't know.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's like an evil Grinch.
It's like a Grinch.
Oh, the mean one.
Yeah, I think it's the mean one. Yeah, I think he's like a killer evil Grinch.
It literally is the Grinch.
Yeah. Number 39, 87 Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 with a 22% Rotten. Come on, it's classic. It's classic shit, man. Literally classic shit. Number 38, 2007's P2 with a 34% Rotten. P2 is fun.
Yeah,
I like it, man. You should get stuck in a parking garage.
Plus that chick got cleavage the entire movie going on. Heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the setting, like in the parking garage. I love that shit, man. It's good.
I actually watched that a couple weeks ago.
I watched it. I rewatched it a couple years ago. I'm kind of on a rotation with some of the, not my like annual watches, but I rewatched that one. This one I have seen before, and I don't really remember much about it. I think I remember not caring for it, but 2008's While She Was Out. It's a Kim Basinger.
I don't think I've seen that
film.
one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I know I've definitely seen this one. It's something to do with like thugs that I can't even remember the whole premise to it, but I have seen it before. Number 36 is 2020's It Cuts Deep with a 40% rotten. Did you guys watch this one? I think I watched it in 2021 or something. I don't know. I think I watched it like F movies or some shit. I didn't really care for it, to be honest.
I've never heard of it.
God, speaking of movies, number 35 is 2019's Black Christmas, 40% rotten. It should be 0 because that movie is trash bags beyond trash bags. It is just pure propaganda, and every male is not fucking. I wholeheartedly stand by my stance on this film. It's not a movie. It's simply not a movie. There's no entertainment value in it. Fuck Black Christmas 2019. It's garbage. Number 34 is Wind Chill from 2007, 46% rotten. I love Wind Chill, man. Wind Chill is awesome.
I've never seen that one either.
Emily
Never
Blunt.
seen it.
Oh, I highly recommend it, dude. It's fucking awesome, man. I love this critical consensus. It says Wind Chill is a ghost story with a clunky and unpolished script that fails to keep viewers in suspense. Go fuck yourself. That is the worst consensus ever. It's like super suspenseful. And it's got a cool premise, man. All right. So number 33 is Silent Night, Deadly Night, 84, 46% rotten.
Oh, you're killing me. That's messed up.
46%. Damn. But you got to remember,
come on, man.
These are actual critics, man. They're people like you that aren't really like you. So I don't even know what that means, but maybe more pretentious. I have no idea. Number 32.
Silent Night, Deadly Night a bad review.
Yeah. Oh no, of course not. It's what's not to like about it. It's sleazy. It's fucking.
It's like at the worst, it's like a good movie.
Right. I mean, yeah. Number 32, 2016's Red Christmas. I love this movie. It's got Dee Wallace. It's actually an Australian Christmas film, so it's like set in the summertime.
The only thing about that one, I feel like the Christmas vibes aren't that strong.
Well, I mean, in the house is pretty good, but you got to remember, like Christmas in Australia is like their summertime, right? So you have that aesthetic too, where it's like warm. Yeah, like Australia in December is the middle of the summer. So yeah, you're going to get that type of different vibe. But I really like the premise of Red Christmas and shit. And I'm not going to get into the whole political undertones of it and maybe overtones of it too. But it's good. I like it. Speaking of one I don't like, number 31 is Holidays from 2016 with a 50% rotten. 50%. Wow. I thought Holidays was trash. I think there's so 9 filmmakers, they do one short for each of the, the holidays throughout the year and shit. And I thought there was maybe one or two that were good.
St. Patrick's Day one was decent.
Yeah. I don't remember which one, but there was one or two that were good. But I mean, that percentage, 2 out of 9. No. Didn't Kevin Smith actually directed one of the shorts in here, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. I don't remember which one.
I didn't see it, but that sounds correct.
Right. Number 30 is The Apology from 2022 with a 52% rotten. I love The Apology. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. Number 29 is 2023's It's a Wonderful Knife with a 54% rotten. Interesting to see a movie that pretty much just came out on here. So this is obviously a brand new list. So number 28 is 2010 Saint or Sint, whatever you want to call it.
That one's good.
Directed by Dick Maas. Great film. It's really, really good.
Dick Maas directing Christmas.
I love the aesthetic of this movie of Saint. It's fucking awesome, dude. It's just got such a cool vibe to it. Number 27 is Silent Night, 2012, the loose remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night, which has
I haven't watched that in so long.
It has a couple cool
I used
kills.
To watch it every year.
I like the kill where I think it's the chick, she gets shoved into
wood chipper.
the wood chipper.
And he puts the foot in first and makes her watch it.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal, man. Of course, with Malcolm McDowell, I don't mind Silent Night. It's not the worst thing I've ever watched.
It's all right.
Number 26 is a great movie, actually. Who Slew Auntie Roo from 1972. 60% fresh. We're into the fresh. So, wow. So, like, most of this list is actually fresh. We're at number 26.
Yeah.
With Shelley Winters. Great film. Number 25. Oh, wow. I'm surprised to see this on here. All the Creatures Were Stirring from 2018, which is an anthology film. Did you guys watch this one?
That's the Rebecca McKendry movie. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it is.
I heard nothing but bad things.
Honestly, dude, it's super disappointing. It's not like over.
There was like one okay segment.
Yeah,
most of it, they were just like average.
Yeah, that's pretty much my consensus on it too. Is like it just felt so average. Like it wasn't horrible, it wasn't great. Okay, I'm having like a brain fart here or something. But number 24, Maniac Cop 2, 91 with a 62% fresh. Is this set on Christmas?
At the beginning, there is when I think when Bruce Campbell goes to his house, there's like a Christmas tree or something. I think maybe.
Fuck? I don't remember that, man. I haven't watched Maniac Cop 2 in a while. So, of course, directed by our homeboy William Lustig. Number 23. Oh fuck. Number 2021's Silent Night. How many Silent Night movies are on this fucking list?
Oh, right. Is that the messed up one?
Yeah, 66% fresh. I can't stand this movie, but that's just me. I'm not saying don't go out and watch it because obviously there's fans of it in this on the show right now. So I don't get it. I don't get why someone want to subject themselves to watching that. It's so damn depressing.
It's very upbeat and it gets me in the mood for the holiday.
Oh my God, that is so.
That's why it's good though.
That's
because it makes you feel shitty.
No, but it's like it makes me feel shitty in a bad way. Like sometimes when I feel shitty, I'm just like I'm kind of laughing inside about it. But like this one, no way, man, it floored me. It like ran me over and fucking stabbed me with rusty screwdrivers and shit. I was like, I just felt trash bags after.
Good movie.
Number 22. 2015's Krampus with a 66% fresh. I love
I'm surprised it's so low.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you would think that'd be in like the top 10.
Yeah, I thought that would be like at least like 80%.
Speaking of films that should be in top, well, I shouldn't say. Well, this is a ranked. I guess they're going by best. Oh, it's obviously by percentage. So, but 1980s Christmas Evil, 67% fresh. Interesting.
All right, I'll take it.
Which everybody
knows.
Yeah,
that seems pretty good for that film.
I love Christmas Evil. I think people have come around on it. I mean, I think once people figured out that it wasn't like a straight up slasher film and it was more of a character study, that people started to appreciate it a little bit more. I think it's just misleading. Like you look at this film, Christmas, it looks like a slasher film, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was very surprised the first time I watched it.
Oh, I've heard people say that was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. They're like, it was the worst slasher film. I'm like, yeah, it is a bad slasher film because it's not one. Right. So, number 20, 1974's Black Christmas with a 73%. That's all.
Number 20?
Number 20. How many movies?
I thought that was
I don't even know if I can think of 20 more.
What?
I thought that was like a lock at number 1.
What movies are above Black Christmas? That's like, oh, wow. Okay. Number 19 from 2019 is like Trap the Devil with 74%.
That one was
fresh.
all right.
I like that Trap the Devil. I want to get a copy of it, but I can't find one for cheap. It's fucking annoying. But I thought it was pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's fucking better than Black Christmas, but come on. Okay. Number 18 is 2003's Dead End, 78%. Wow, we got quite a jump there.
I love Dead End.
Speaking of Dead End, did you see that post? I don't know who made the post in our group page, but they were talking about like Dead End, how it was like it was so bad it was actually good. I'm like, I don't think Dead End's actually a bad movie.
Yeah, I said I just think it's actually good.
Yeah, like I think it's actually good too. Like I don't know. I mean, it's got Ray Wise and Lynn Shay in it. Come on. And it's like got a cool premise. I don't know. I like it. 2021's Red Snow, 75%. Okay, this is out of order. Again, fucking
I don't even know that. I don't even know what that movie is. Red Snow?
I think it was was this one on Netflix? I can't remember. I saw this somewhere. I might have watched on F Movies. I don't know. I did watch this one a couple years ago. I think I watched it last year, actually. Maybe not. I don't know. It's like a vampire. I think it's the Bat Transformers. Yeah, it's a vampire film set in Christmas. Number 16 is 2008's The Children with a 76% fresh. Yeah, that one has my crazy
Children's
theory.
pretty good.
That one has my theory that everyone thinks I'm fucking crazy about, but I don't think I'm crazy. Maybe a little bit, but I still think I'm right. I know it's crazy, but I'm crazy. Number 15 is The Day of the Beast from 1995, 77%. Day of the Beast is so much damn fun. We reviewed that, I don't know, recently on the show. Number 14.
Was it last year?
Yeah,
Maybe last year.
something like that. Number 14 is actually one I haven't seen. I know it's on Netflix. I just haven't gotten around to seeing it. 2018's Await Further Instructions with an 81% fresh. Wow, that's really high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I missed it, and then I just never went back and watched it, I guess. Number 13, what the fuck? The Advent Calendar from 2020 with an 82%.
I mean, I did like that movie, but
I didn't think it was that great, man.
no, it's not that great.
No,
it's like a 6.5, 7.
Yeah, exactly. I think I gave it 6.5. Number 12. Oh, here we go. Inside from 2007 with an 85% fresh.
Yes, that one's like amazing. So
That one's top tier. Yeah.
yeah.
Inside's awesome. Oh, what the fuck is this? Number 11 is Hosts from 2020, 83%. Going backwards a little bit. Hosts. What the fuck is this?
What year?
2020. It's just called Hosts. I mean, there's a million movie called Hosts, but a family falls victim to unimaginable terror when they invite their sweet young neighbors over to celebrate Christmas. I don't know this one. What the fuck?
I don't think I know that one either.
Weird. Wasn't expecting to see
Yeah,
that.
I've never
Someone
heard
on the
of
list
this
none of us have heard of that. So weird. Number 10 is A Christmas Horror Story from 2015, 83%. I like
that one's a bit overrated.
I really enjoy it, man. I've watched it. I have it logged a few times.
It's decent.
I think it's good, man. Fuck,
Oh,
man.
you know what? Here fucking comes the In the Apocalypse. I guarantee that shit's in the top 10.
Okay. Well, anyways, that was number 10. Okay. So number 9 is The Retaliators from 2021 with an 88%. Now, you want to talk about overrated movies. 88% on Retaliators.
I don't think
Never
I've
heard of it.
seen that one either.
I didn't really. I think Jeremy was a big fan of it when it came out, but I didn't like it. I actually didn't really even care for it. It was fuck whatever. Number 8 is The Curse of the Cat People from 1944 with an 89%. Okay.
Never seen it.
Never seen it.
Number 7 is The Lodge from 2019 with a 75% fresh. That's weird. We just went way backwards.
I honestly don't really care that much for this movie.
I like The Lodge.
I rewatched it again last year and liked it a bit more because I mean I had some pretty strong opinions on it the first time I watched it, but it's decent for what it is. It's got some good moments. Number 6, Christmas Bloody Christmas from 2022 with a 77%. So these things have obviously been moving around.
Well, I can't believe that's that high.
Well, good for that, man, because I love Christmas Bloody Christmas, man. Fucking love it, man. And I say fucking and I say fucking because they say that every second word in the first half an hour of the movie. There's a lot of swearing in that movie. Number 5, yes, Anna and the Apocalypse, 2017.
I fucking knew it.
With 77%. I've actually never seen this movie.
People love that fucking movie.
So this is what, the third one on the list?
I haven't seen it either.
I think this is the third movie on the list I haven't seen, maybe the fourth. Yeah, I just never got around to it. I don't know. Number 4
it's all right. I can't do musicals really.
Yeah, I'm not like, me, man. I'm a huge music I'm not down with musicals that often though. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't hate them, but I don't seek them out.
No. Number 4 is Gremlins 1984 with an 86%. That makes sense.
Damn, that was my number 1 pick.
Yeah, same.
Number 3. Interesting, man. That's great, man. This movie's got some fucking mad love, man. Better Watch Out from 2016 with an 88%.
I
like this
love
movie.
it. Love it.
As you were
One of my
saying that, I was like,
favorites
what's
ever.
left? And I was thinking, wow, this movie's going to be high. Maybe this is number 1. I like
crazy.
this movie. This movie's good.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I love it too,
one of
man.
my favorites.
Yeah, it's really good, man. The paint can scene is just so arguably brutal, man. It's fucking brutal.
Dude, the kid laughs. That's so
Dude.
awesome.
Oh my god.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Like, what do you mean you didn't know it was gonna fight? It was a fucking paint can. Like, this is crazy.
She saw Home Alone.
Yeah. Number 2 is Rare Exports from 2010, 89%.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
That's
I
a good
love Rare.
movie.
Rare Exports is great. And number 1, oh, for fuck. The Nightmare Before Christmas from 1993, 95%.
I mean, it's great.
95%, man. Holy fuck.
Well, that
Right.
doesn't surprise me, but I didn't think it was going to be on the list. That was
But
on my radar.
I still think, I mean, that's less shocking than Black Christmas being at 73% and at number 20.
Yeah, that's really low for Christmas. I think Black Christmas was not well received when it came out, though. So maybe it just stockpiles reviews from that old or something.
This whole
Yeah, but for
section
some
actually.
reason, I've always thought of Black Christmas as one of those respected films like Halloween. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well,
I think it really is.
The mainstream critics, I feel, would like it.
Yeah,
I don't think it was like that at the time, though.
I think just over time it's become where was it on our influential list? Because it had to have been super high. Or it was somewhere on it was somewhere on the list because it's super influential. Like so many filmmakers and just, as a fucking genre film and stuff. But this whole section, man, number 22, 21, and 20, like Krampus, Christmas Evil, and Black Christmas all being so, I guess, lower on the list is crazy. But yeah,
At least they got
Christmas.
Gremlins in a good spot.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I thought that would be number 1.
some of these choices are, I think, in odd spots, but it is what it is. That's just how the cookie crumbles, man. I mean, that's the way they were rated. So, although there's a couple that are kind of out of order here, which doesn't really make any sense. But anyways, that's 45 Christmas horror movies ranked from Rotten Tomatoes. That's always fun. Good stuff. So wait till next year when we break down our personal top 10s.
Yeah.
Got a whole year to work on that list. Not really,
That's
because I
kinda
don't watch
badass.
Christmas movies.
That list was going to be easy for me, dude.
Oh, it's super easy. I know what my top 5, 6 are as it is right now. I mean, I have videos on this, so I wonder how much it's changed.
I think I have a pretty definitive 1, too.
Yeah. Actually, my 1 and 2s have flipped a couple times. I kind of go back and forth. It depends on what my mood is, I guess, at that present moment. But Black Christmas always was my favorite film forever. But I mean, I've said that a million times on the show. But then Christmas Evil, you get those appreciations, man. So
Yeah, those are the only 2 Christmas horror movies I watch every single year.
yeah, you gotta watch it, man. You gotta watch them.
Yeah, those I rotate other ones, but I can't skip either of those.
Right. Yeah, there's certain ones, like I said, I have one. It's mostly non-horror stuff that I watch annually though too. But there is a few besides those 2 that I watch every year. Try to, at least. This year has been a little bit more difficult because I've been so busy, but I'm trying to fit them in there. So
Even between 2011 and 2023, coincidentally, there's just been a ton of Christmas horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it is weird. Yeah, I've seen almost a
That
handful of from
The
2023.
2011 movie I watched, Hard Labor, the Spanish one, was a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I've never heard of that movie. It's crazy. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys got anything else intro wise?
Nope.
All right. Well, I guess we should probably mosey on here and get into some reviews. Guys want to do that?
Yep.
You say
right.
so.
Let's do it. Let's wrap up this intro and we'll be back with you guys in a moment.
Yo, who this?
Yo, Moodz, it's your boy, the ill-mannered funky child, calling you to remind you that the featured reviews on this episode contain spoilers.
Aw, yeah, man, that's right, brother. Thanks for the heads up, playa. Now go back to being an unproductive asshole.
Fuck you. I tell your listeners to stop being so dumb, silly, sensitive.
Yeah.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, so getting into the featured reviews here on episode 249, Christmas special. Don't know what number it is. I don't know. JP will figure that out. Be on the thumbnail.
Lately I've just been titling them Christmas 2023 edition.
Yeah, that makes sense because, it doesn't have to be whatever. So, it'd be 2023. Christmas special. We're going to start it off with a film from 2004 called Calvarie. It is a Belgian film. Yeah, it's like a Belgian, France kind of mashup, spoken in French. So this is a subtitled movie. Quick little synopsis on it. Mark, a traveling entertainer, is on his way home for Christmas when his van breaks down in the middle of a jerkwater town with some strange inhabitants.
Jerkwater. Like you never heard that ever in my life.
Who says the term jerkwater? What does that even mean? What does that even
Belgian
mean?
people.
I guess it's a town where they jerk off in the water, man.
Jerkwater.
That's the first thing I was thinking. Like
jerkwater.
they just go into some water and just start jacking her.
And would it surprise you?
No, not based on what happens
after
in this
the
movie.
things I saw in this movie, yeah, surprises me.
So is this a first time watch for you, Tyler?
Yes, it is. This was one of my biggest blind
no
spots.
shit. For real.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's just the movie's almost 20 years old. I'm surprised.
Yeah, and it's like I like the I know it's not French, but it's kind of gets grouped in with that whole like French movement, the French extreme movement. I do like
it's because they speak French in this part of Belgium. Like it's just super common to speak French there.
Yeah, well, it's like I really think that movie Inks like had a giant influence on the French extreme movement.
Oh, probably.
And like that's and like that's German. So
yeah, I mean,
kind of just like the European extreme movement.
Right. So
but yeah, I'd never seen this, and I like that. So it's kind of weird I hadn't.
So what are your thoughts on Calvarie? Since me and JP have seen this, I've seen it a few times. So
I thought it was pretty good. I think it gets like a little sloppy and it's like a little goofy, but like it finds a way to like come all together where like you get like that sense that this is like this like you're in a different world, like you're in this like hick backwoods town, like
and somewhere in fucking the deep mud of Belgium.
I was watching the scene thinking like, what the fuck is going on? And like when I think back, this is like what ties it all together. Like after you've seen all this crazy shit this guy's done, and he like they're at the saloon and he's playing the piano, and there's that weird like saloon room dance where all these like backwoods hicks like get up like they're in a cult or something.
You know,
it's just
I have always weird. I've always had this fucking weird relationship with this movie because, you know, I saw this movie, I don't know, for the first time, something like maybe 10 years ago. Like, I think we were just doing the show, or whenever the DVD came out, I had the DVD. So maybe even before that, I don't know. And I wasn't sure about the tone of this movie, if it was supposed to be a fucking comedy. Or
you know what? It's supposed to be a real dark comedy, just a sprinkle of it.
I think you're right, because a lot of the reviews, because I was looking at like Rotten Tomatoes reviews of it and like different websites and stuff, just like the quick little blurbs. And it seemed like a lot of people mentioned the dark comedy, but I've never watched it in that light.
Well,
so
see, I never I didn't go into this movie having any I went into this movie thinking it was going to be like, you know, one of these French extreme kind of, you know, really dark, like serious type movies. But then I'm watching this movie. I'm watching this movie and I'm like, everything about this movie, like it's like the opening scene with Mark singing to like the old people, and
dude, I love it. It's like gold. It's fucking like all.
Yeah, and that weird ass scene where you know he has this weird groupie that like takes his hand and puts it between her legs, and she's like this old fucking lady. It's like weird. Like right from that scene and his singing and shit, like I find it comical. Like I find it fucking weird, funny. It's like it's not like it's so odd and so weird that I think it's supposed to be funny.
Same thing with like the guys that like every time it's like more than a couple of times in this movie they're like sing us a love song, and they're just like so into it, and they're like so respectful of this guy that's just like sing fucking old people like music in like bar rooms.
But it's like right from that opening scene, and then I remember thinking about it and going like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching here, and then when he breaks down and he gets taken in by this guy in this fucking jerkwater town. And he tells his backstory about like how he's all lost in life and shit, and he's telling this big boohoo sob story because his wife left him and shit. Now he's torn apart and he's all broken. He doesn't know what to fucking do. And now Mark, all he wants to do is fix his vehicle and get out of there. And this guy starts fucking losing his mind because now Mark is leaving him too. And then the guy starts to believe that he's his fucking wife, and he takes him captive and shit. And like, but like during this whole thing, it just I can't I keep telling myself like it's not supposed to be funny, but I can't stop fucking laughing at this movie. And you get like, and then you get introduced to like the weirder characters in this movie, like the backwood hillbillies and shit that are literally fucking cows in the ass, and they're all fucking weird. And you talked about the weird scene. And now this is what really like sets me off in this movie, because it does kind of seem like it's getting serious and dark tones and shit. But then you have this weird scene where you explain where, you know, the dude gets up and he starts playing the piano and everyone in this bar starts doing this really strange dance. And I bursted out laughing. Like I've lost, I'm like, totally 100%.
You guys are a bunch of fucking weirdos.
I'm fully convinced now.
Movie?
I'm fully convinced that this might be one of the funniest extreme movies ever made, because I think
it's supposed to be.
I don't find a single fucking thing in this entire movie.
But you're German.
I think a lot of
you're fucking German.
Funny.
You got no sense of humor. We proved this over time. You never laugh at anything. But
I'm not German. What the fuck are you talking about?
You have a German personality. You never laugh at anything. You're fucking you're an asshole about shit. But I think over time, I've watched this movie like a handful of times now, and I'm fully convinced. I wasn't convinced on the first like 3-4 times I watched this that this was supposed to be comedy. I'm 100% down with my thoughts that this is a fucking hilarious comedy, because everything about this movie is so weird and dark, and so like the tone doesn't match the material of what's going. Like if you take someone captive and you start making them into your wife and shit, and like it should be super dark toned. It shouldn't be fucking funny. But like when he cuts all his hair off and leaves it all fucked up, it's funny to me, because he wants his wife to be like beautiful and blah, blah, but he fucks his hair up. Like, it's funny to me, man. It's like, it's ridiculous. This movie has the weirdest.
He did that so that the people in town wouldn't think she was hot.
Well, it didn't fucking work, because that's the other aspect of the movie that makes no fucking sense. Like, dude, you have to admit, the dude that's walking around looking for his dog, quote unquote, which turns out it's actually not a dog. It's his fucking calf or cow.
It might have been a dog. We don't even know.
No, they found the fucking the. Remember when they show up in the house?
He says that, but dude, that guy has not a reliable narrator. Like he might have just settled on that being his dog.
Yeah, that's what I got.
He was calling it a dog. He was calling it a dog, but it was actually his fucking cow. But
similar to how the guy just settles on Mark being his wife. It's all connected.
Then Philip Mahan shows
but then by the end of the movie,
Gloria.
Like the guy in the bar even says to him, he goes, "It's not your fucking wife." And then after that whole fucking shootout and crazy shit that happens with the hillbillies and this crazy dude, like he flips on it and he's like, "Bro," he's like, "You're a fucking bitch. You shouldn't have fucking left him." Like they all of a sudden are convinced that Mark is the fucking wife.
Dude, it's so out of pocket. I love it.
It's so fucking funny to me. I'm just like, why does this guy all of a sudden just switch on? Because there's a moment in the film that he's like hell bent on, this is not your fucking wife, and then all of a sudden he's like, this is your wife. It's so odd. And then like the way that guy his demise is just so bizarre. Like that quicksand shit. Like, man, I don't know, man. This movie has the strangest tone ever. Like I feel like if you watch this movie multiple times, and you might have a different perspective on it after you watch it again, but I couldn't figure this thing out forever, but now I'm fully convinced it's just like it's a dark comedy. It totally is.
I think it's funny in like the same way that like the Human Centipede is funny.
I don't find any of that funny.
That's the thing. Like,
I don't find the Human Centipede funny. I find it funny that someone's mouth is like on someone's ass getting shit in, and like, it's so German, right? It's like so fucking German.
That's why it's funny. He's like, dude, that movie's from the second where they're like, did you put something in our drink? He's like, yeah, roofie. He's like, it's a comedy from that point.
But I just don't,
dude. For me, like stuff like that, dude. I just can't get out of like if that really was happening, it wouldn't be funny to me.
I think sure. Well, I think it's just supposed to be like so like they're playing it just so serious, but it's so over the top and dumb that it's funny.
I think what's funny about it is that like the Human Centipede, there's that whole shyster joke about like German scat porn and shit porn and stuff like that, and it's like literally what they're doing in this film.
There's some hilarious lines in that. When the girl runs away and he's like, "I found my bee."
I don't know, man. This movie, I mean, if I'm set on thinking it's a dark comedy, then I'm really liking this movie. But like, if I view this movie as a serious horror film with really quirky parts and shit. And it's like, I don't really care for this movie. So I have to.
That's what I mean. Like, that's where it's sloppy, because it really, like, I get what you're saying about being a dark comedy, but it doesn't really define that well. And some of the stuff is just so weird and like out of pocket that I almost think if that weird barroom scene wasn't in there, I might not even like this movie.
You know,
I think
and
that really ties it all together for me.
It's got to be one of the weirdest scenes ever. Like what, like, because that really does define the tone of the film, because without that scene, it would be a lot different, because it's so awkward and so strange and so weird. Because first of all, like, this is backwoods hillbilly shit and stuff. Like, why would they all of a sudden just break into like weird, like convulsing, like D minor, like the guy's playing like hard D minor
weird,
fucking
that's
piano.
just what they do.
Like, but I think that's part of the joke, because it's super dark. It's a super dark, like D minor fucking, you know, on the hard piano and shit like that. And these guys are dancing, like they're almost like shrugging their shoulders. They're almost like convulsing. It's like, I don't know how you can't take that as funny, because like it's just
it comes off creepy. It doesn't come off funny to me. It's
but I think they're telling you it's a dark comedy by playing the dark keys. He's playing dark keys on the piano as in like it's dark comedy. Like, it's fucking weird, man.
There's something just so bizarre on it that you're just kind of like, what the fuck, and like giggling.
So JP, if you can convince me this movie is like a straight up like serious horror film,
I don't know if it is, but
I just can't get into it. Then like I have to be able to think it's a dark comedy, because there's so many like everything.
It's just for some reason this movie makes me so uncomfortable, dude. Like
I can see why. Yeah, it's pretty fucking weird. I love that scene though. Like when it's just like it's like Gaspar Noé directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That part's fucking awesome. Like the dinner scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
That part's I love that part.
Like, I really like the aesthetic of this movie. Like, I love the way it looks. It looks so gritty, and like it looks like how it should look in the backwoods.
So wet and muddy.
It's so muddy. It's so like, it's not even atmospheric. It's just so like, it's so sopping. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels.
It feels so like alone. Like you really do feel super far away from like anybody.
Well, I think he actually is. Yeah. Like, I don't think there's anything around.
I know, but I'm saying like it comes off that way too. Like a lot of times you don't get that just because, you know, that's what's told in the narrative. You never get that vibe. But in this movie, like the location they use, like I'm like, there's nobody for miles.
Right.
And like for me, the hardest thing about this movie for me is just like how like weird the people are, because you're like, is this even realistic? You know what I mean? Like, is there like, it's like they took all like the special needs people and put them in their own town. You know what I mean? Like, well, it's fucking strange. But
it's edited so comedically too, because the dude that's looking for his dog, he's like, you know, what does he call it? Bella. He's like, Bella. And then it cuts. And then they do this purposely. They cut to a scene where this whole family is like surrounding this dude that's ready to fucking pork this fucking cow's asshole. and they purposely do this, man. Like, it cuts to the scene after he's like, Bella, and it's also like,
it's a pig,
and I'm like, I'm convinced this shit is fucking straight up bona fide comedy, man. I'm like, there's no fucking way that was just coincidental. It's just funny how it's edited too. I'm like, oh my God. Ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it might I could see where you find that funny, but to me, I can't take a second to laugh at it, because what's happening on screen is like so disturbing to me.
And this isn't even like uncomfortable laughs for myself. I get that, because, well, dude, the first couple times I watched this movie, I didn't laugh at these parts. I was like, what the fuck? I was so confused on the tone. But now I've convinced myself after multiple watches that this movie is not serious. It's a dark comedy, because it has to be. It has to be. And if the director says bona fide, like, that this movie is a dead serious movie, I don't know if I can like this movie, man. Then it's just terrible to me.
Really?
I don't think it's a dead serious movie.
I don't based on what I'm reading, I don't think it is, but I like it as a serious movie because it just works for me. I think that,
but I don't get it though. It's not serious though. Like, it's just there's so many comedic elements. Even his singing in the beginning,
any of them, dude. Like, it just doesn't come off that way to me.
I don't know,
like for me, I can't even get to the point of like thinking about things funny, because I'm putting myself in the situation, and it's just so terrifying to me to be like captive by some fucking weirdo dude who's gonna sleep with me and cuddle me. Like, I can't handle that.
Like, what kind of backwoods tough ass guy like pours his fucking heart out, starts crying about his wife leaving him, and then just fucking like loses it and snaps because like Mark is gonna leave because he's only there because his fucking vehicle broke.
I think this dude was already mad twisted before Mark.
Yeah, he's already cooked.
Oh no, for sure. But like, he even says out loud, he's like, well, now you're gonna fucking leave me too. You're not going anywhere. And then he fucking beats him with a fucking battery, like which I still think is shot very poorly. That's actually a bad scene because like the way he hits him in the head.
What the fuck happened? Yeah,
dude, it's done very bad. Every time I've watched this movie, I've always thought to myself, I'm like, that scene is horribly shot. Like, I don't know if they just didn't have the budget or if the way it was edited. I have no idea what happened there, but it does not.
It might have looked terrible, and they said, just
maybe
do we should count.
You know what the other thing that makes me laugh about this movie is the pictures, like who the girl is that sends him off, right? She gives him the pictures and stuff. That's Bridget Leahy, right? She's like she was the porn star back. She's in all the fucking Jean Roland films and shit like that. And she's also in like Franco films and shit like that. But anyways,
that's why she looked familiar.
Yeah. So she's in tons of movies and like from that era and stuff, but she was actually still doing porn in those days. But anyways, so she gives them those Polaroids, and I swear they used a younger version of her in those Polaroids. Like they just
she looks hot in the Polaroids.
Yeah, like it doesn't look. She doesn't look old in the Polaroids, and I'm like, they used a younger fucking version of Bridget Leahy for those Polaroids, and I just burst out. I never noticed that until like this watch, and I was like, that's not old Bridget Leahy. What the fuck? That's fucking made me laugh, dude. It's just the shit that you notice after you watch it so many times. It's like, I don't know. It just made me laugh, but anyways, I mean, this movie is so fucking, it's like disgusting to watch. Like it just has this nasty aesthetic, which is or the way it's shot. So it fits, the actual grounds and where they shot. Like you said, it's so wet and moldy and just gross feeling and shit. And there's nasty shit that's on there, like pork.
Yeah, it totally feels like some weird Belgium countryside that like has been stuck in the fucking 30s for the last.
Yeah, it's like a time capsule film.
Yeah.
Like everything hasn't changed since the day it was made in like 1794. Like everything's brick and old and moldy and gross and shit, and it just fits so perfect.
Yeah, it's just like it's farmers and a guy who has an inn. That's all that's out there.
So this guy must live like way out in the woods by himself because he's like, don't go down to the village and shit. So he's like way out of the way, right? So he's like a true kind of woods backwoods dude and shit like that, but who obviously is completely torn apart from his slutty wife.
One part that actually did make me laugh, now that I think about it, is whenever he goes to take the walk or whatever, right before he sees them fucking the pig, the dude goes up to the van and like starts messing with the back handle trying to open it, and then it just cuts to like the door massively fucked up from him like crowbarring it open.
Right.
That was kind of funny.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to hide that shit at all, man. He's like, well, Mark's gonna see this shit.
But
he
did back it up against the wall like real tight too.
So. I guess so, right? Yeah, I guess he did. Yeah.
Yeah, he tried to hide it a bit. It's just, I don't know, man. This movie's just really uncomfortable to me. I don't really like, if I take it, like, I don't know how to take the villagers and the fact that everybody is completely out of their mind is like a tough pill to swallow, but I just kind of chalk it up to like, I really don't know like anything about areas like that. I know what our Deliverance style backwoods people are, you know what I mean? Like the way that they're portrayed in film and how it's an exaggeration of our rednecks and stuff like that. I don't know what their exaggeration is in Belgium of moldy hillside people is,
Mm-hmm.
So but it's just I like, if I kind of just roll with it's really disturbing. This movie is like feels shorter than it actually is to me. It's funny because there's not a lot that actually happens in the movie. There's really, a few disturbing scenes. Like, to me, like one of the most disturbing aspects of this entire movie is when right after he fully captures him and he ties him up in the bedroom and he gets into bed with him, bro, and the like wails that the Mark's making is like so fucking uncomfortable to me. Like I can't handle it.
Mhm.
So that to me is like my eyes are just wide open. I actually like it's so uncomfortable that like I dread that scene because it's just like I don't know. It's creepy. I can't stand shit like that, man.
Yeah, I just, I mean, it's fine. And like the third act to me just seems so out of left field. Like I get why they show why all those rednecks and shit, they end up coming to the house because they wanted their fucking cow back, right? Because the guy, he even says, he was like, oh, go grab the cow. And then when he grabs it, he's like, oh, I got her and shit like that. But then the whole movie kind of shifts what their trip is all about. Like they went there to go reclaim their fucking fuck toy back or whatever you want to call it. And like, but then all of a sudden it's like it just shifts this whole fucking like the narrative kind of shifts onto these guys like after they take care of Boris and they're convinced that he's the wife now and shit, and then it just like they become the main villains and shit. It's just such a weird turn of events. I
don't necessarily think that anybody's convinced anybody's anybody. Well, I just think they're fucking all weirdos.
But the Robert dude, the character like the father, whatever. He even says, he's like, you think you're going to fucking leave again or some shit? He's like, you fucking slutty bitch or whatever. He's like, he's literally talking to Mark like he was the wife. And
yeah, but I don't think he actually thinks that he's the wife. I just think that they're like that they're just rolling with it.
See, that's the part I don't know. I used to think that too. I used to think the same thing, JP, that I wasn't sure if he was just calling him the dirty bitch and shit like that. But then after multiple watches, I think I've maybe overthought it. And I think I've convinced myself that he's lost his fucking mind too. And he starts to believe that shit. I don't know anymore. This movie's fucking with my head, dude. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like the way that I kind of interpret it is like that he's an outsider and they see him as an object of their whatever, what they want to do with him. And this guy dressed him up as the chick, and then they're like, all right, let's roll with this.
But why chase him down in the woods? Like, I mean, if he's not convinced that he is the wife and he knows
because they're treating him like the wife.
Okay, but then so he just continues to be
think about the Boris character, Boris, how he's treating him like the wife. He knows that it's not his wife,
right?
But he's playing fantasy. I think they're all kind of doing that.
So they're basically just taking their time out of their day just to like. So it's gone.
What the fuck else they got going on?
So we might as well just go chase them in the bush.
They're just a bunch of weirdos. Like they're just like it's planet out there.
Yeah, it's like it's like the hills have eyes.
That's why scene. That's why that bar scene ties it all together. Because now they're all just fucking weirdos, and it's like almost like a cult. They're just like backwards. It's like get drunk and fuck around and do shit like that.
Right. I mean,
they're out there. They're out there fucking pigs, bro.
I know.
They're pretending that pigs are women. I'm sure that the pretending that dude's a woman isn't.
That's an upgrade.
I mean, I guess when the only thing that you're doing with your day is fucking cows. I mean, why not just chase down Mark?
For the 100th time, it's a pig. It is not a cow.
Whatever, the fucking pig. So
squeal like a pig.
Squeal like and that noise is so bad, dude. Oh my god, I can't. That is just awful noise, man. But it's just like it's like poetic justice in a sense in the end, right? Like with the father character, and he starts sinking in that quicksand. That would be such a scary fucking death, dude.
Yeah, that would suck.
Dude, because you go down
and then Mark is like, so fucking broken that he just becomes Gloria.
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you do? I mean, his mind has been shattered. Like he does. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, to be honest, man, this movie doesn't really have the craziest Christmas aesthetic. Like it starts out with Mark singing in his old folks home, and it's got a Christmas tree. And I think there's a part in like the middle of the film or whatever, like he's got a tree set up and shit like that. And it's pretty much it. Like you don't really get.
Well, they mention Christmas a bunch, a couple times. So but it definitely doesn't have like heavy Christmas vibes, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
No, it doesn't have the visuals much at all. Yeah. Right. So
like this is not like a go-to Christmas film for me.
No. And it's actually blowing my mind how many times I've seen this movie, because it's something I feel like I shouldn't be rewatching this much.
This is my fourth time, I think.
I think I've seen it 4 or 5 times too. This is so crazy. Like I don't know why. Like I think we all have those movies that somehow we end up watching way more times than we ever thought we'd ever watch. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's just so weird how it just happens, right? It's strange. But
I watched it when you sent me the DVD, and then I watched it for the summer series, and then I watched it when we were supposed to record 2 years ago, and then this is my fourth time.
Right. You know what scene I really do like the way it's shot is when all hell breaks loose with the Boris character fighting off the hillbillies and shit inside the house. And there's that huge scrum happening. He shoots that fucking scene from the ceiling down, and he kind of
that's awesome.
He shoots it vertically down. Like, I love that the way he shot. It's so like it's a nice little touch. It's like a nice touch of like artistry.
I mean, like when it's like Gaspar Noé directing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, there's some really well shot scenes in that whole kind of third act and stuff, even with the, when he's feeding them the soup and shit like that, and the way it kind of pans around. But the chaos scene is shot really well. It really captures like how fucking chaotic it really is and like how batshit it just turns into, right? I love that. I think that's a nice little artisty kind of touch to the film and stuff. So pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of want to. There's an interview with the director on there. On the Blu-ray, I'm just kind of curious, like what he has to say about the film.
Yeah,
he did I did watch the introduction on the Blu-ray.
I did too. Yeah, it's like a minute long or whatever.
Yeah, they're always like a minute long. Yeah. they usually don't say anything. They're just like, "This is my movie."
Yeah, he just talked about the color.
I'm happy it's on Blu-ray.
How they just color corrected some of the whites and blacks for the release and stuff, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, and he basically said that it was very hard to get financing for a film like this in France or Belgium or wherever the fuck they
Belgium.
were.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you look at a script like this and you're like, oh, he's fucking a pig. No money for you? Like, I don't know, man. But yeah. So Calvarie, also known as The Ordeal. I don't know if I said that before. I don't think I did, but I think that's the translation, The Ordeal. So, but I mean, not a whole lot more to say about the film, really. You guys got anything else?
No, you go first this time.
Okay.
Been a while.
Calvarie is like, I was like beating myself. I watched this movie on, I think it was Wednesday, or Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Wednesday. And I'm like, I don't know how to rate this because like if I look at it the way I'm convinced it is, like a dark comedy,
that's the way you should look at it then.
Right. Yeah. Because I went back and forth on this because the first time I watched this, I was so fucking confused. I'm like, did I just watch a serious horror film that make me laugh? Or is it a dark comedy horror film? I'm like, I have no idea. Like, it's not very often I watch a film and I'm so confused at what I watch, like not narrative wise, just confused on tone or why exactly these characters are doing what the fuck they're doing, like their motivations and shit. But I think this movie really does help with multiple views because of the discrepancies and kind of the messiness of the tone and shit like that. You know what I mean? But if I take it for how I am fully convinced now that it's a dark comedy, I really like this. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So it's a dark, disturbing. It just makes you feel gross. It really does make you feel gross. Right from like, honestly, the opening scene is like the singing is so goddamn bad. It just makes me like, I think that's part of the joke. I swear to God, the songs are horrible. Like when Boris makes him sing to him. I love the line that Boris uses because Mark only sings half the song and he's like, hey, I didn't tell you half a joke.
Yeah, I love it.
It's the fucking greatest line ever.
Sing a love song. They're always good.
Yeah. So yeah, 8 out of 10, man. It's an interesting watch. So yeah. Saucedo.
This movie is not perfect, but it's a lot of fun. It doesn't overstay its welcome. I had a good time with it. I was going to give it a 6.5, but I like it more after discussing it, so I'll give it a 7.
All right. Yeah, I pretty much feel exactly the same about this one as I have in the past. And I'm going to just stick with my rating that I've been giving it since I started watching it 4 times ago. That's an 8.
Yeah, I think the first time I don't like remember what I would have gave it, but I probably would have been about in the 6.5 range because I was so confused.
Yeah, you sent me the DVD like fucking 6-7 years ago or something.
Yeah, because remember it was like hard out of print and it was going for crazy money, and I found one. I found one for really cheap, like super cheap. It was crazy. So I was like, well, and then of course this thing. Well, I mean, like everything gets released.
Yeah.
Right. So, but,
yeah, I'm liking the love that some of these French films are getting from like the Vinegar Syndrome partner labels and stuff.
Yeah, now where's the good releases for like Inside and Martyrs, and not the fucking
Inside? I think just got announced for a good release.
Yeah,
not Umbrella. The second site I think just released Martyrs and
Umbrella did Martyrs, I think.
Yeah, I think Second Sight did too, but
I didn't know that.
Umbrella's Australia and Second Sight's UK, right?
Yeah. So I think the Second Sight ones I read somewhere that they're just upscales. Like,
ew.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, what the? Because Second Sight usually does really good transfers on their shit. And yeah, it was Simon. It was Explosive Action. I was watching one of his videos and he said that he was really, really disappointed with the, I think it was the Martyrs tram. Maybe it was I can't remember which one he was talking about, but that it was just an upscale. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, really? An upscale from like a boutique label like that at this point in time? Like, that just seems so scandalous and wrong.
Yeah, I did get the Martyrs from Umbrella.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it.
I haven't gotten around to pick it up. I need to pick it up though.
I wanted to pick it up at Wasteland, and Diabolic wasn't there last minute.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That was fucking.
The guy that was there though, I still wish they were there. I probably would have spent more money with them than anyone else. But the guy that was there was selling like really cool shirts. We're talking to him for a little bit. Yeah. I guess that was his buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like pretty much all those Fab 4 or 5 films, they all need the fucking better treatment.
I just want like a nice fucking awesome edition of Inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I have a DVD of that still.
Same.
Yeah.
I thought one got announced something cool for Inside.
I don't think so. I think I would remember that because that's probably my favorite of the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Inside. It's great. So fucking bloody, man.
I think Martyrs is my favorite.
Martyrs is such a hard watch.
That's usually everybody's favorite, but I prefer Inside.
Yeah, I mean, we reviewed Martyrs one time on another podcast that we had started, did one episode.
Yep.
Yeah, and like we really movie. Like we talked about that film for like a couple hours, man.
Yeah, it was a good
broke that shit right.
Martyrs I think Martyrs are really good. I like the movie a lot.
Yeah. So
yep.
All right. Anyways, that's Calvarie, also known as The Ordeal from 2004.
22 shots.
All right, so moving into the second film from 2011. Yes, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I like that. A Cadaver Christmas. Yeah. You guys have seen this one before, right?
Yep. It's been a long time though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I rewatched this one actually a couple years back. I hadn't seen it probably since around the time it came out, but yeah, so
yeah, I picked this up on DVD in 2012, I think, and I've literally not watched it since.
Right. Synopsis. Man, this is like so long. I don't want to read this whole thing. United by terrifying and bizarre circumstances, the janitor, the drunk, the bartender, the cop, his perp, and the security guard must fight to undo the professor's work. A dark force is at work in the Cadaver Lab this Christmas, and this unconventional band of heroes are the only hope the world has against an army of living corpses that are quickly recruiting new members. Oh, it's recruiting. Okay. Recruiting. It's interesting. The undead have been given the gift of life, and it's up to the janitor to take it back.
Dude, that description is like wrote as if you've seen the movie.
Right.
Yeah. It's wrote like you know who the characters are.
Right. So I mean that's basically what it is, man. It's like the movie starts out with this janitor, he's all fucking bloodied up and shit, and he makes his way over to this bar to grab a beer because he's been fighting off some living dead. And yeah, so the bartender and the stupid
that's like my favorite scene of the movie, like right at the beginning.
Yeah. And so he basically, the bartender and the drunk that's sitting there, they join forces with him to go fight off some of these living deads and shit. But man, I remember the first time I watched this movie, I could not help notice, but that the lead guy, the janitor in this film, he reminds me of fucking little bitch like Squeak from Basketball. Like there's something about him. He just reminds me. He just reminds me. He's got kind of like he's very small bodied and stuff. His face.
He has that. He has the same like frame.
Yeah, like he just reminds me of Squeak. It's fucking hilarious, man.
I love Squeak. Oh my god, I've seen that movie way too many times.
That would be actually kind of a fun show. The janitor, like a janitor show, like Cadaver Christmas versus like Toxic Avenger. Is there any more movies that have janitors that are the fucking heroes? There's gotta be. But yeah, it's like anyways. But so what are your guys' thoughts on a Cadaver Christmas? It's obviously a comedy horror film. So
yeah,
I actually love it.
I think it's really funny.
I think what they did with a $10,000 budget is pretty impressive.
Dude, I know, man. Like,
I think the writing is the high point of this film. You know how you watch a lot of like no budget indie films and like the one thing you don't need money for is like writing, essentially. You know what I mean? Like you can scale down the budget with the writing, but a lot of times when you watch indie films, they're just written so poorly.
Yeah, they don't have good dialogue.
This one feels like this guy had wrote this script like 10 years before he ever filmed it and just kept adding shit to it and kept like fine tuning the jokes and the payoffs and stuff, because this movie is littered with jokes and callbacks and payoffs. And I love stuff like that when we're talking super low budget indie flicks. And I think this one is super fun, man.
It is, man. It has a great, like
one-liners from this movie that I've been using for years and forgot they were from this movie.
That's funny,
dude. I fucking love the thing where they're just like casually like they're like the fucking zombies, and he's like cadavers. He just always like cadavers, and then like it has a great payoff at the end where he's like, we got to get these zombies, and they're like, wait, zombies, and he's like, yeah, these ones move faster. So like he just basically changes it up so he's still right.
Man, I think my favorite gag in the film is when he goes to call the police and it transfers over to the campus security, and they have to make a decision and they make a decision if the call is warranted of the police or their help.
Yeah, and it's funny because
he's like, what if I was getting raped?
They do that joke a couple times.
This is why it's well written, right?
Yeah.
Because the first time you get it, he tells the situation, and then you get it a second time when he rips the phone off the wall, and you think that's the end of it. But then it comes around the third time in the flashback when he's like, I tried to notify the authorities, and then it just has a quick clip of him calling her.
Well, there's even a scene where
and it's so fucking funny, dude.
There's even a scene where she explains the whole thing right to his face, and he's like, yeah, I know, I've already heard this spiel before. He's talking about when he's on the phone with her. It's like fucking hilarious.
I am in my third year of criminal justice with 2 years of experience, and I'm CPR certified.
Yeah,
fucking so ridiculous, man. But but the cop is like he's the most annoying character in this film ever. Like he's just such a dick, and I just want to punch him in the fucking face like every time he talks, man. But I love the drunk dude, man. I love the drunk dude when he starts explaining about like the zombie slugs or whatever and shit. And he's like, "Oh, wait, you get so smart." That
is well written because that's based in reality. It's like there are these like zombie snails, like this parasite that infects these snails and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like I just think that's a nice little touch to sort of set the mythology up. And honestly, I've never seen that particular thing done before. So I thought that was cool. And then I love how like when he tells the story, he's like, talks about how like he had to kill all these cadavers. And it's like, he's like, you said there were thousands. He's like, I may have exaggerated a little bit, but there's definitely like 6 now. It's just, I think there's so many. It's nonstop jokes, dude. The entire fucking movie is just nonstop funny moments.
Yeah, and it's not like it's corny jokes. It's not even like it's bad,
Right,
corny
they're
jokes.
clever.
The janitor
it's
is so
it's written.
funny.
It's written very, very well. You know me. I like these little fucking soft touches in films where you really got to pay attention. Like when I'm watching movies, I'm always looking for posters and I'm always looking for shit that's like in the background and stuff. And there's a scene in this film where he rips the Tree Venge poster off the billboard. And I'm like, that's fucking cool, man. So if you guys ever seen Tree Venge, it's fucking Jason Eisner's short Christmas film, and it's fucking awesome. It's totally awesome. But that was just a nice little touch because it was, Jason Eisner. So
yeah, this so this film, I first heard of this film. We had Greg on a few weeks ago, and he one of the podcasts he mentioned that was on that network when back in like 2011 or 10 or whatever, when I think it was 2010 when they started, was a show called Attack of the Killer Podcast, I think.
Yeah,
and
I think that's what he said.
One of the guys who is a host on that podcast is the director of this film. That's how I first heard about it.
That's actually really fucking cool.
He always talked about when I was shooting Cadaver, when I was shooting, and everybody made fun of him because he always brought up Cadaver. And I remember, let me fucking see this guy's movie that he keeps bringing up. So I picked it up on Amazon for $5 on DVD.
Wow.
And so cool that it's made by like a podcaster, dude,
It's funny. I actually forgot who had sent me that. Like I bust open my DVD and I always keep the notes in DVDs and shit that people have sent me. And you know who sent me this movie was fucking Bill, Mr. Snick is 21. He sent me this film.
Really?
Yeah, I'd like open up the note and I was like, oh shit. I like completely forgot that he'd sent me this film. So I doubt he's listening, but man, if you're listening, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. This movie doesn't have a Blu-ray, does it?
I doubt it. Yeah. Looks like a lot of these people are one-time actors.
What did you guys I think it was just like all friends, mate.
Oh yeah, it's definitely.
That's probably why it worked, because like the janitor, the bartender, and the drunk guy had so much chemistry.
Yeah, everybody really did.
Yeah, I liked, like, you could tell, like, they did work together. Like, this movie really does make the most of his budget. Honestly, like, a big theme I've discovered in 2011 is, like, 2011 is the year of overachieving indie films.
There's a lot of good. Yeah, I know this era of indie film was really, really good. Man.
So far, just like what I know about and I've seen, like, there's this. There's
the Taint.
Absentia. Yeah, the Taint, Absentia, Father's Day. Manborg, Adam Chaplin. There's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and so unique too, right? And one thing that a lot of those movies share too, man, is like not just the obviously the indie status of low budget filmmaking, but they all have like really good soundtracks, man. Like this one's got good music in it too, and obviously like all the Necrostorm movies have great fucking hard fucking synth music and shit. It's just awesome, dude. But yeah, the Taint synth, man, it's like all really good. But like that's how you utilize your budget, man. You fucking have a good setting, shoot it well, and music, man. Music makes a big difference. So,
and there a lot of those are smart too, where they get like all these are like 85 minutes flat or less, like Get In, Get Out. Like they all know what they're doing.
Oh, dude, there's nothing worse than watching a fucking 2.5 hour indie film that's like, ugh. I'm talking about
like
zombie slugs.
Like 75 to 80 minutes is like the perfect length for like one of these indie films. Just like get to the point, have fun, make the most out of it. Like when these movies start to drag, like Taint is like 70 minutes, but it's like it's 70 minutes of fun.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the like filter?
I liked it a lot, actually. I didn't remember that from last time, and I thought it fit really cool here.
I think it's part of the joke, but they use it so heavily in this. It's like it's ridiculously overdone, but I think that's part of the joke though too. I think one of the funniest scenes in the film, and it's obviously done because it's supposed to be funny too, but the scene where I think he grabs a computer screen or whatever, I think it's a computer screen. He smashes it on one of the zombies' heads or whatever. And like, if you see it, like it,
Cadaver's
head. Yep. The cadaver's head. And, you see like this huge kind of green CG pop up in there. It's fucking so funny looking, man. It almost looks like the TV was going out, like your own TV. I don't know, man. It's so funny looking, man. But I think it's done as a joke though, too.
Yeah, this movie has charm. Whenever I, watch these, the same thing with like shot on video, I look for passion. I feel like you could tell the difference between the films that were sort of just like exploitation to like make a buck versus the ones that have passion. And that's what was so fun about like the shot on video era of the late 80s and early 90s is most of those people just wanted to make a film so bad that they just did it by any means, and they ooze passion.
Yeah,
and I get the same vibe from this film.
Yeah, there's not too many films from that era, like the early 80s to the early 90s, where, you know, that could be compared to like the later indie films that just like, you can just see there's no passion. Like all those filmmakers were making those movies with nothing but passion and motivation to make good movies. If they turned out good, that was a bonus, I guess. But they weren't trying to make bad movies. You know what I mean?
They were just trying to make something because they wanted to make something and they wanted to make movies. And that is, it bleeds through when watching it.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than watching a film that's like made bad on purpose. You know what I mean? And
I'm not a fan of that.
Like 90% of those, 90% of those movies don't work for me. Every once in a while, some of the shit will make me laugh and stuff. But I mean, most of those things just don't feel like they have any passion behind them. It's like you're making a bad movie on purpose.
Personally,
like, I don't understand the concept.
It's just I think it's just a way to avoid criticism. It's just a deflection.
Oh. It's like nesting. Like you're building a nest.
Yep.
Yeah, it's overly
like, I meant to do that.
It's overly self-aware.
It sucks. When someone says like it sucks, you can be like, it's supposed to suck. That's why it's funny.
Yeah, it's overly self-aware too, man. It's like, you know, I'm gonna make this shit bad and be like, oh well, you can't say it's fucking bad because it is bad. It's like, fuck, shut up, man.
Yeah, I just cope.
Stupid. But
yeah.
But yeah, like even the effects in this film are done pretty well too. You know, again, going back to the $10,000 budget and stuff. Like, I mean, the first, you know, probably 2/3 of the film doesn't have an abundance. It doesn't have that many kills. It has some things that are going on. It's got, you know, some blood. It's got a few kills here and there. You could probably count on one hand how many kills there is before the third act. But
yeah,
when they do happen,
the gang though, that's what makes it good.
Exactly. This one isn't even about, I know, and that's what I was going to say. This one isn't even generally really about the cadavers. It's more about the characters in this film, right? Like they're the real stars. You're here to watch,
especially them. By the end. Like it honestly gets like touching and fucking kind of works.
I just love how the fucking buddy, like it makes me laugh every single time that what saved him was him being a drunk bastard.
Yeah.
Like he literally had so much alcohol in his system that it couldn't poison him.
Remember the the Irish film Grabbers? That's like the same deal,
dude. That's what I remember. I talked about Grabbers. I talked about Grabbers having one of the funniest premises ever. Like that's so fucking funny, man. Like Irish people
they basically got to get shit faced, not to die.
The fact that it's an Irish film and that now they're forced to get shit faced. They don't have to be forced to get shit faced, but it saves their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
The greatest narrative ever.
You know, the like most shocking part of this entire movie is like when the hero, the janitor, they're in the hall and he fucking kicks and breaks the dude's leg in half and leaves him to die.
Yeah.
It's like you don't normally see that out of the hero.
Right. It's pretty funny. Oh man. But yeah, they actually managed, like, you know, even in such a short film and you know, with the low budgets, that they actually managed to put in, you know, a full backstory of like how this actually happened and stuff. It's not just one of these, you know, these cadaver films that, you know, has no narrative to why these are rising from the dead. You know what I mean? Like there's so many zombie films out there that just don't, they're just, I'm saying zombie films because I'm referring to the actual zombie films.
Yeah, but this is a cadaver film.
I know I'm not talking about this one. I'm talking about the other zombie films that don't have any explanation to why the dead are rising and walking around and shit like that, where this one gives you a complete backstory about this guy that, like, you know, was trying to fix his wife because she had this,
and it
terminal illness and
it
stuff.
Works for what it is.
It's actually kind of touching a little bit too. It's interesting how it kind of plays into the end and stuff. And but the fact that they went out and they actually shot the footage, they didn't just tell you the story. They actually, you know, got an actor and, you know, to play this part. It's just very well done. I think the movie has a really good pace to it too. It's like, you know, you
could tell like that this film has like some influences. Like I feel like the professor is like influenced sort of like the Evil Dead professor a little bit, like just the way that it plays out. And then also I feel like there's like a Return of the Living Dead vibe a little bit too, with like the way the characters are, and also like how the bar is next door to the like science lab thingy. I feel like that might have been taken from there, maybe.
Yeah, possibly, man, possibly.
Just knowing the guy on the podcast and like how much film, like what kind of horror films and stuff dude liked.
Right.
I haven't listened to that show in like 10 years, but from what I remember.
What's the oh fuck, I can't remember his name right now. The doctor from Day of the Dead. The fuck is his name in the film?
Right, Frankenstein they call him.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, but I kind of feel like that character is a little bit him too.
Possibly, yeah, probably.
Like that's I think I originally thought that like back in the day. I think that was kind of where I was getting the vibes from and stuff. But like even like just having it in one setting, it's like it's kind of like a Dawn of the Dead thing. Obviously, this is set in a school campus kind of thing, but in Dawn of the Dead is set in a shopping mall kind of thing. But you know, you got that kind of one setting vibe to it and stuff. But yeah, there's definitely some call-outs and stuff. And like what I like a lot of these indie films do that. You know, they give praise and they give flowers to a lot of the films that influence them to make their film and stuff like that. And they don't overdo it. The only thing that they overdo in this film is the actual filter, but I think that's done on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to kind of like, because it's a comedy, right? It's not like you're making a serious slasher film that's a throwback and it just has this crazy.
I feel like it works better because it's
I think it does.
at Christmas too.
Yeah.
Which is weird. It just, I don't know, for some reason, like it being Christmassy and that filter kind of fit for me.
Yeah.
I just like this movie lets you know exactly what it is from the jump too.
Oh,
yeah. It kind of reminded me of Feast at the beginning.
Yeah, I can see why you'd say that.
Oh, in the bar. Right.
I love that scene. He comes, he's
Yeah,
like
like how he just shows up and it's like
something.
janitor.
You can't use the bathroom without buying something.
It almost sets it up like it's the end of the movie, but it actually isn't. Like the way he walks in the bar, he's going to tell this whole story, but then it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I find that kind of funny too in the narrative. It's like you think, oh, he's just going to tell this story about how he killed all these cadavers. Now he's having a beer and he's going to tell the bartender his whole story and shit, but it's totally not like that. It's funny. But yeah, good movie, man. It's so much damn fun. I highly recommend it. Cadaver Christmas. It's a fun shit. It's fun stuff. So, but I just can't get over the fact like the lead, he does remind me of Squeak. 100%.
I can see why you'd say that.
It's just something about him, man. He just reminds me of fucking.
He's got that same like kind of like almost like, I don't know how to say it. Like he's got that same like head that ship like the Muppet Beaker.
Like, do you think? Yeah, right. Do you think maybe like, you know, speaking of like influence and stuff, do you think like this character was kind of based on like the actual janitor from Toxic Avenger? Because he's kind of similar. Like,
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Just because like Melvin's a little like he's a wuss. He's like this guy's like. Yeah, this guy's like a fast talker. Like right at the beginning of the movie, like he sasses the big guy. He's like,
they're so similar in stature. Like they're all, you know, really, but really
like
small,
they kind of look,
yeah, it's
like
just funny.
They kind of look the same, but like he's sassing people from the get go, and he's being the leader. Like
I guess not personality wise, but just kind of like aesthetically, like it's almost like the same person. You know, from talking.
They could have like said
that guy is perfect for that role, man.
Yeah, that guy killed it. That guy like acted the shit out of his part.
Yeah. Like he completely got it.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, I think everyone does their part very, very well. Like the cop is supposed to be obnoxious and an asshole, and he plays it out really, really well. Like the drunk dumb guy is like he's almost too dumb for his own good, but then he's like he has these moments of clarity that are really fucking funny. You know, it's like, but the way he talks, like he talks like a little kid. But he's just shit-faced.
Yeah, he talks all slow.
Yeah, so he's fun. You know, there's such a variety of characters in this film, like considering there's only so many. And I almost feel bad for the bartender. Like his demise was kind of brutal.
Yeah.
But I liked him. I liked the bartender. He was cool. So. But yeah, Cadaver Christmas, man. What else you guys got on Cadaver Christmas?
That's it.
Cadaver Christmas.
I still think the funniest moment for myself is the fucking first time he tries to call the police. Man, he gets campus security. Makes me laugh so hard. I'm like, these assholes always got to be.
That like feels like something that actually is real for some reason.
You know,
I can
It's
see,
like, I mean, sometimes that stuff is just based off a real life experience.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a real thing in some campuses where if you use a campus phone, it redirects you to campus security if you call out. Like if you call 911 or whatever, like I don't know why that would ever be a thing because you're just wasting time at that point.
Like and
it's
then you
stupid.
call 911.
Like generally when people call 911, they actually have an emergency. They don't want to be redirected to campus security and have them give you a questionnaire or them to figure out if it's fucking serious enough for them to intervene or actually call the police. Like, that whole premise is so
like
fucking
the
funny.
way the girl plays it off, and just like always.
She does a good job in that role too, man. She does a really good job.
They're like, like, we want you to play the naive, like ditzy college girl who thinks she's a lot smarter than she is, and she does it. Like she understood the assignment.
I love the fact
I started busting out laughing. It's like, so what if someone was coming in my window when I was getting raped?
Right. I just find it so funny that like she obviously was talking to one of those people earlier on the phone, but then has to say the whole spiel to their faces later on.
Yeah.
Right. It's like she repeats it word for word. And he's like, yeah, I know.
That's exactly what happens. This makes it funny. And he's like, yeah, I already heard this one.
Yeah. And I'm like, why is she saying this again? She was quite clearly talking to someone here. It's fucking so ridiculous. Oh man. It's funny shit. Ratings? Who's up? Tyler?
Yep.
Saucedo?
Okay. Yeah, this movie's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. I was going to give same deal as the last movie. I was going to give this one a 6.5, but I'm coming up talking about it again, so I'm going to give it a 7.
JP?
That's one thing that you will end up doing a lot.
I do it all the time.
Being a
I just like want to,
too. Like
it goes both ways. It goes both ways.
do it. Yeah. Sometimes I go lower than what I thought, but yeah. I really like this movie. I think that it's a lot of fun. I give it a 7 as well.
Yeah, I'm in at a 7.5 on this one.
Nice.
It's a really, really, really well done indie film. I love the music in it too. It's great. Even the opening credits.
I would really like to own this movie on Blu-ray. I hope someone releases it somehow.
Like just doing a nice opening credits, like with those type of graphics and stuff is always fun to me. Like it never comes off corny and cheesy and shit like that. I actually really like that type of stuff. Yeah. It just adds a nice little touch. You're putting a little extra effort into it instead of just running your standard credit lines and stuff like that, right?
It's on brand for this type of movie too.
Yeah, right. It just really it works for a cadaver movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Damn right.
All right, so that's a Cadaver Christmas from 2011. All right, so getting into the third and final film here on episode 249, we're going to talk about a brand new film. Just got released from 2023, and it is called It's a Wonderful Knife. Yes, that is a play on It's a Wonderful Life, basically containing very similar type narrative to it, but we'll get into the synopsis here. After saving her town from a psychotic killer, Winnie Carruthers' life is less than wonderful. When she wishes she'd never been born, she finds herself in a nightmare parallel universe where without her, things could be much, much worse. So, yeah, that's pretty much what happens. So basically, the film opens up with a killer who's been fucking hacking up some people, and she ends up killing this killer, and it jumps a year later, so it's the following Christmas, and she's just been struggling with everything that's happened in her life, and she's not liking anything that's going on, and she ultimately wishes that she was never been born. Triggers, she ends up in this parallel universe where the killer is happening, and she's basically invisible. Well, she's not actually invisible. It's not like It's a Wonderful Life where he's being taken around by Clarence, but she actually is part of the narrative, and she's in there and stuff, but all the characters are different and shit like that and stuff. So what are your guys' thoughts on It's a Wonderful Knife? JP.
So I went into this movie kind of expecting it to not be really that good just based on what I heard. I think I liked it more than what I expected. I still don't think it's like amazing or anything. I think the first section of the movie, maybe like the first 2 acts are pretty solid, and I feel like the third act kind of sucks. But I did like the very end, like, of the movie. But I think
where she makes out with Weirdo.
Well, you like where she's just all happy to be like back.
No, I just thought that was so strange that happened.
I thought it was
like,
so shoehorned in. I was like, what the?
I was like, all of a sudden, I'm like, she's a lesbian? I'm like, what the? Like,
I kind of bought that relationship though, man. I don't know.
No, but I bought into the relationship too, but I just didn't think that she was also, they were going to be like kissing and shit. That was weird to me.
Did they? I don't even remember them doing that.
Yeah, they did. They did twice. They like did it to like, they did it when she was back, back like in the world where she didn't exist, and then
that's how she gets. Well, that's not how she gets back, but they're kissing. Then she kind of fades, and then she wakes up the next morning, and it's like Christmas, and she's back with her family and shit. Yeah,
give me some more sugar.
But
no, I think that like fucking Justin Long is such a fucking asshole, dude.
Dude, I was
surprised to even see him. I didn't know he was in this, and then I'm like, "Is that fucking Justin Long?"
Dude, I thought it was. I swear to God, like right at the beginning, I was watching this, and then until it got real close to his face, I literally thought to myself, like, "Man, Martin Short looks really young."
Dude, I have this written on my fucking. I said, Justin Long looks like fucking Martin Short in this movie. He does. He looks like Martin Short, doesn't he? Fuck, man. That's so funny.
Like, wow, Martin Short looks really young.
I said, Justin Long looks like Martin Short in this movie somehow. And I think it's because they like put a mouthpiece, or like he has different teeth or something.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but as he looked, it got close to his face. I was like, is that Justin Long?
Yeah, I actually knew he was in the film, but like his voice, like his accent or his voice that he's doing in this shit, man, was making me laugh through the whole movie. It was so ridiculously like hammed up. You know, I don't know what it was, man. But you can tell he's definitely got like different teeth in his mouth. Like his mouth is so white and big teeth and shit. So I think that was helping with the way he was doing his accent and stuff. But his voice was hilarious in this. It just didn't. It was so comedic, man. It was ridiculous. Oh my God, I was having so much fun with him. But
yeah, I think that he plays like a douchebag pretty good lately. Like he was good in fucking Barbarian is like a douchebag too.
He plays a douchebag in a lot of movies, actually.
I don't really watch.
He was kind of a douchebag in Tusk.
Yeah. I haven't seen like a ton of Justin Long stuff, I guess, but I guess you're right. So I will say that the Christmas vibe is on point in this one.
Oh, it's so good. It's really good, man.
Lots of Christmas vibe. Actually, one of my favorite sequences in the movie is whenever the one like meth smoker dude gets killed, and it's like outside of that party or whatever, and like how the strobe light is, and during the chase sequence and stuff, and the music. I thought that was done pretty well.
Yeah, actually, the kills actually aren't too bad in this. You know what I was getting a vibe of? Obviously, the way the killer looks, like it's what's the name of the town? It's
Angel Falls.
Angel Falls. Right. And of course the killer's like the angel of death kind of thing. He dresses like an angel and stuff. But the killer, the way the killer kills like so violently with the stabs and shit just reminded me of Ghostface. There were so many Ghostface.
Dude, 100%. Especially because the costume, it's like a white ghost face essentially.
But that one scene where he's like stabbing the shit out of that person, and like he's just I was like, holy fuck, that's Ghostface right there. Like it was just 100% Ghostface, man. I was like, wow, it's crazy. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. It just reminded me of Ghostface. So
yeah, it's like the waviness of like the robe thing he's wearing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what did you guys think about like all the, how things changed when after she wishes she wasn't born?
I liked it, man. I mean, it went pretty extreme to how everyone was like a drug addict and a crackhead and shit. Her mom was like her mom was an alcoholic slut.
Her mom was an alcoholic swinger.
Yeah.
But that was one aspect I like, because like she didn't exist, right? So when she shows up at her parents' house, like her brother had died. Yeah. And she had never been born. So like, they're like, you're not my fucking daughter kind of thing. And I like that whole aspect and shit, but it was just funny to see that her mom was like a fucking drunk slut had like a piece on the side and shit. It was weird. And like all these friends were like crackheads and the drug shit was like out of control and stuff. And of course, Justin Long character, what's his name? Henry Waters, like he was in the beginning part of the movie, he's trying to basically buy up the rest of the land and stuff so he can own the city and shit. In this alternate universe, he owns everything. He's like the town mayor and his he's asshole. The Biff. Yeah, he's fucking Biff. He's exactly Biff. That's exactly what he is. And his brother now is the town sheriff because the sheriff had been killed the year prior and stuff like that in this alternate universe. So you got that kind of setup where now like Justin Long is totally untouchable and shit. And yeah, I mean, I like what they did. I thought
Weirdo was a pretty fun character. Like, yeah. I like the Weirdo joke where they're like, they don't even say you're a weirdo. Like they just call you Weirdo.
Yeah, I didn't really see
like
her being
the weirdo.
It was weird because the first act, I didn't think that her character was going to become like the Clarence.
The best friend.
I think that's the point, though, that they were just like, this person's ignored in this time.
Which, she just, and then I just didn't see, for some reason, I just didn't see it coming, but it worked. It worked really, really well. I like the idea of having Catherine Isabel in the film as the aunt. That was cool. It makes sense because this is a Canadian film. It was all filmed in Vancouver.
She got old. I didn't realize that was her until halfway through. Until more than halfway through.
Yeah. So of course, Catherine, she's Canadian, does a lot of Vancouver films and stuff. So,
well, hell, Ginger Snaps came out like 24 years ago.
I know, she's like 43 years old. Like she looks like a normal 43-year-old woman, but I hadn't seen her in something in a while, and honestly, the last thing I probably saw her was American Mary, and that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen her in something either too. I was actually thinking that when I was watching this, I was like, man, I haven't seen Catherine Isabel in something in a long time. And I was like, is it American Mary? I'm like, I feel like that was the last thing, but
was she in Abid?
Oh yeah,
maybe. I didn't watch that.
That was a shitty remake.
Yeah, by that point, the Saskus had lost all credibility with me. I'm like, yeah, no, thank you.
But overall, man, I was expecting not to, because I kept hearing nothing but bad things about this movie. Like the execution was terrible. Everything about this movie was bad. I'm like, okay, first of all, I like some of the characters. Justin Long character was killing me. He was fucking hilarious. It was cool to see Catherine Isabel in there. I liked the lead. I thought she did a really good job in the film. But the aesthetic was awesome. Like it has a beautiful Christmas vibe to it, man. The music is fine for what it is. But
kills. The only thing I really didn't like is what they did with the father character. I just didn't like how they.
It doesn't even make any. See, that's okay. So I'm glad you brought that up because I have this written down, and I don't really understand that whole thing. Like they try to twist out, oh yeah, he's the killer, but he's not the fucking killer because the shit was happening before the son died, right? So
yeah, I thought the way they kind of tied it, shoehorn that in,
right. So he's obviously just doing revenge killing because he became that person after his son got killed. So
they tie it into they're sort of working together type thing.
Yeah. But we obviously know that Justin Long
is only in this timeline, not in the original.
Yeah, timeline. Right. Because what they do is they make this. I mean, I guess it's kind of a twist. I mean, what they do with the narrative and stuff is kind of interesting because they make Justin Long almost like this Charles Manson type cult leader where he's actually can control people in a sense, right? And so the father was being controlled, and all these people, he referred to all the people in town as drones. And there's a scene in the end of the film where he's giving the speech and stuff like that, and all these townspeople are staring at him, and all their eyes are all lit up, and they're all droney and stuff. And of course, when his demise happens, everyone snaps out of it, and it's oh shit, what the fuck was going on, kind of thing, right? So it's kind of
that's that's the aspect I didn't like. Though. Yeah, that when I say the third act, all that stuff, I just thought was it was unnecessary.
I thought it was really messy.
There's a moment where the writing is actually really piss poor because after she kills her dad, and they had actually already talked about how she was going to make it back to her reality, and because she had to kill the killer to be sent back before the apocalypse or the aura thing disappeared or whatever. But she tries to get sent back after she kills her dad, but she knows that he's not the full killer. Why wouldn't she her character has to know that Henry Waters is the fucking mastermind behind this, right? He's got to be the demise for her to be sent back, but she tries before she kills him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
it doesn't make any sense because she tried to go back.
I was already
but
kind of just,
but she hadn't killed the guy. She hadn't killed the actual killer yet. And I was like, I'm scratching my head, going, did they fuck the writing up here or something, or the characters?
I feel like that, you know, because it's a parallel, maybe that she thinks that.
Well, no, because they'd already established how she was going to be sent back. Because when she's talking to
they
Weirdo,
did do that. Yeah,
because when they talk to Weirdo, she's like, "This, you have to kill the killer."
Out to me,
yeah.
I'll say this: the first thing that stuck out to me about the writing might not be exactly where it should be. Is when they went back and you learn that this guy's on a murder streak of like 27 in a year, and like there's kids still walking around like having like parties and stuff, even though like that's just not how it would be. Like that's how it would be so fucking terrified to do anything.
But maybe that's why everyone was a crackhead now, because they're like, oh fuck,
yeah,
man. Everyone's dying off.
I just like
they're trying to escape it that way.
Well, I think that's where they tie in that like he has the town under control thing.
Yeah.
I just thought it was not well executed. I'm kind of.
I agree with you. I don't think that it's like
the third act is it actually.
I thought the first act was fun. Like I did think like it was like a fun slasher at first, and I was kind of wondering like why do people not like this movie? And then I kind of
even the whole middle part of the movie was actually pretty good too. And then like the third, like soon as the father got introduced as like a revenge killer and shit, and like they start revealing like all these other things, and that poor writing where she tries to send herself back before she even finished the job, I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, the more I even think about it now,
downhill for me around the point they went to the movies together.
Oh, and that sucks, man. So that scene was shot in the Rio, and I've been in that theater tons and tons of times. I've seen lots of shows in there and stuff like that. But it's cool because they're watching the 1951 version of the Christmas Carol, or Scrooge, however you want to call it. That's like one of my favorite ones of all time.
I don't think I've seen that.
Just a little side note. It's like my favorite version of Christmas Carol. It's awesome, man. With
I love
with Alistair Sim.
Carol.
I love the story. Like,
yeah, the story's great. Yeah.
Yeah, Alistair Sim, he plays the best Scrooge, man. Like, it's so creepy, dude. It's almost like horrorish, man. It's fucking so creepy, that movie, man. It's awesome. But anyways, that's the one they're watching in the theater. So pretty cool. But yeah, I was like,
I don't really think I've seen a Christmas Carol I haven't liked.
I know. I always
honestly,
I always love them. I have so many versions, man, like Blu-ray and DVD and shit. It's just crazy how many versions I have. I love it.
Like I like the Jim Carrey one. I like the Fred Flintstone one. Like I just like
Mickey's Christmas Carol is like one of my all-time favorites.
I like the James Stewart
like 30 minutes, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I like the James Stewart one, and I like the Muppets one.
Oh yeah, the Muppets one's good too. I have a bunch of them. I love the Muppets, man. It's good stuff. But yeah, no, like, I mean, this movie has lots of good things. It's but see, I'm in the same boat as you, JP. I was expecting it to be pretty average and really not going to care about this. But I like probably 80% of this movie. Like, it was shot better, like so much better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be super low budget for some reason.
I think it helps too. Like, whenever you think of like Totally Killer, like, seems like me and you just sort of like the type of movies where it's like Back to the Future type shit, where like
I was gonna say this felt like a way better. This felt like a weaker version of Totally Killer. That was something that struck me.
I mean, I think it is kind of a weaker version, but it's still fun.
It's funny. I never even thought of Totally Killer until you just mentioned that. I'm like, fuck, that's like the second movie this year, slasher film, that was like set in a different fucking dimension.
Yeah, we tend to like that type of idea though.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you know me, like Back to the Future is like my favorite trilogy of all time. Like
it's
fucking love those three movies.
Me too.
Like time travel.
And those three are just perfect for me. I watch them all the time.
Me too. I watch all three at least once a year, and I actually just did watch all three not too long ago again. But anyways, like time travel in general, I got it from Back to the Future was, I just think it's such a cool idea. It's so fucking cool because there's like so many possibilities and shit. It's just, I don't know. I love it. But
yeah, it's fun.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What else? Oh yeah, I was going to mention actually. Okay, so my buddy's in this film just for a short second. My buddy Mark. He worked on the film, but they obviously threw him in there for a second. But so the scene where she, the very moment where she ends up in the nightmare alternate reality and she's on that kind of on the rooftop or whatever, that dude that gets stabbed in the eye and falls in front of her and she kind of screams and freaks out and shit, that's him.
Oh, cool. It's neat.
So Mark, if you're listening, he did a good job dying No lines, nothing. They didn't even show the kill really. He just like turns around, he's got this knife hanging out of his eye and he just falls on his face. I'm like, yeah. So yeah. Hopefully this movie comes out like on hard disk. I'll when I see Mark at Horrorcon this year, I'll get him to sign it.
It's Shudder, so usually they do put their stuff out.
Yeah. Hopefully it's out by then so I can get him to sign it and stuff. So
I like how there's I like how every year, especially the last 5-10 years or so, we get we know we're going to get a couple Christmas horror films at the end of the year. I love that, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been, like you said, there's been quite a few this year, man. Like how many?
Yeah, there's more this year than usual.
I've already watched
there's a lot this year.
Like how many I've seen. Well, Candyland takes place during Christmas. I wouldn't say it's like actually Christmas horror film,
watch that one soon.
But it does take place during Christmas and it's got some Christmas vibes to it. But It's a Wonderful Knife, and I just watched.
This is like my 5th one, I think.
Yeah, and there's like a bunch of other ones too. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, there's no, this might be my 6th one. I forgot that. Stupid anthology was the missing person or whatever.
Yeah,
shit! I even watched that one too. Oh man, I've watched lots this year. The sacrifice. Sacrifice Game.
Oh, that's a Christmas movie too. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what was the other one?
Brooklyn 45, kinda, even though it's a little.
Oh yeah, Brooklyn 45.
Yeah, no, Brooklyn 45. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I knew there was another one. Yeah, Candyland, Brooklyn. Fuck, there's so many. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and then of course there's a few lower budget.
Something in the Barn.
There's
another one. Santa Isn't Real, I think, is another one that's coming out this year.
That's what I mentioned about somebody that gets like, I don't know. She says that she got attacked by Santa and no one believes her or something like that. So the title of the movie Santa Isn't Real, some shit like that. Super low budget. I think Wild Eye or somebody put that shit out or something. I don't know. Maybe it was a different one. I don't know. Well, but yeah, lots of Christmas movies this year, man. No. Well, there's a couple. Wild Eye's put out a lot of Christmas movies over the years, man. Tons of them. Yeah, like Mrs. Claus 1 and 2. I think they put out both those, and low budget shit. I like some of those though. Ugh.
Yeah, man. I'm a fan of Christmas movies. I love them, bro. I know you do too.
I like how they directly reference "It's a Wonderful Life" in this movie, though. Like,
I love the part at the end. Hello, movie theater, or like Merry Christmas, movie theater.
But it gets kind of like, it almost gets a little bit touching and stuff when Weirdo is like, you were Clarence, like meaning that she saved her life, right? Because she alludes to the fact that she was going to kill herself.
Right.
And I thought that was actually kind of a touchy moment because earlier in the film, they're like, yeah, you're my George Bailey, you're Clarence and George Bailey. And I'm like, oh, that's a cool reference to It's a Wonderful Life. And then they take it one step further with how, like, I wasn't Clarence, you were Clarence, you saved me. And it's like, oh, that's crazy because she literally was going to kill herself. I was like, that's fucking sad.
That's actually clever, honestly. Like
it was
role reversal. Yeah. But yeah, I think that I think it's actually works, the relationship, and I'm usually not like one for these type of relationships. Like in movies, I always feel like they're forced.
What, lesbian ones? You don't like lesbians?
No. Just
I'm joking.
Like lesbians.
I'm joking. No, I just felt like you can't. I didn't realize that like they were gonna start. I was like, the fuck.
Well, I think that's why it works for me, is because it doesn't feel like all forced, like they're making a big like moment out of it, you know, like they're like foreshadowing it so heavy and stuff. But
I guess I just didn't see it like that. I didn't see it coming. I guess I just thought it was. I mean, I have no problem with it. It took me right off. Like it just totally sidetracked me. It was weird, but I don't know. Totally cool. But yeah, I still think overall Justin Long steals the show in this film with his weird ass accent and his fucking fake white teeth. It's just hilarious to me, man. God, he hams it up in this, but in a good way though. So yeah. Ratings?
Yeah, ratings. I think that's me first.
Yep.
Yeah. This was more surprising, another surprising watch for me because like I said, I really did hear like I had heard this film was coming out, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds cool." And then when it came out, a couple of people went. I think Tony even went and seen it in the theater.
Well, Greg said he didn't like it in the theater, and we had Venom on the show, and Venom said he didn't like this movie either, and I was like, okay,
yeah. So there was at least 3 people that I know that weren't like didn't care for it too much, and then just the word online was that it wasn't very good, and I was like, all right, maybe me going in with low expectations helped, but I actually enjoyed most of the movie. I'm with Tyler, where I think the biggest fault is like the sloppy writing with the father, like Moodz brought up the whole weird way that they think they solve it, even though they know what they have to do type thing.
Yeah, it's just poorly written.
Couple of the other things, like how the town's acting and stuff, it seems a bit off. But outside of all that, which is really small potatoes in the grand scheme of things, it's a fun movie. The killer's pretty cool, actually. Kills aren't half bad. Christmas vibe is there. So it's good with me. I give it a 7.
Yeah. Again, you know, I don't mean to like mirror everything you said, but I'm pretty much I like most of the movie too. I think that the biggest problem is just in the third act, really, like, you know, with the father and like just the writing and stuff. It's definitely what kind of brings this one down for me a little bit. I really don't like the scene where she actually kills her father, like the way it's shot. They almost like strobe light. I thought I was going to have a fucking seizure watching that today. Like, I've never had a seizure, but I felt at that moment I might actually break out into a seizure. And I was drinking hot coffee, and I was like, I had to put it down just in case something drastic was going to happen with me. But you guys know what I mean? Like,
did you happen to watch the fights last night, Moodz?
I did watch the fights, and oh my god!
Did you see Bryce Mitchell get seizured when he got knocked out?
Oh my god! We all three of, so me, the wife, and my buddy Matt were watching this. We're eating a bunch of Christmas foods and fucking just pigging out and drinking beers and watching the fights and shit. And like, we all were like speechless, man. All three of us, like, we watch the fights all the time, and like, not very often you get shocked to the point where you're like, oh my god, like, that was brutal.
Dude, it was scary. It was scary. I was scared. I was like, damn, you know that.
Dude,
yeah,
it was
you're
so
right.
bad that they let him stand up because he couldn't fucking stand after his legs were buckling, and they're like, man, like, Rogan's like, man, he's gonna fucking tear his knee. And I'm like, dude, like, they need to hold this guy up, man. Like, he was out of it, dude. Oh my god, that was bad.
That was a brutal KO. And like you said, you've watched hundreds of fights. I've watched hundreds of fights.
Yeah,
it's rare where there's a knockout that's like got me like nervous that like someone might die in the octagon.
I know. That hasn't happened in so long to me, where I was like, all three of us were like, oh my god, I hope he's okay. Like, what the fuck? Like, at first we were all like, he was crazy knockout. Dude. And then they cut back to him convulsing. The wife was like, oh my god. And like, you could see in her like the terror in her face.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, oh dude, that's not good. That is so bad. But yeah, no, the card was really good last night, actually. I thought it was good.
Yeah, except for the main event was weak to me.
Yeah, the main event was the worst fight. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it's a wonderful knife. Like, I just like the scene with the father, the way they kill him, the way they shot it with like the whole flashiness and stuff. I really did not like that at all. And it kind of falters itself like in the third act a little bit. But I think overall the movie's got a good aesthetic. It's got, you know, it's got decent kills. Like, I like the candy cane kill through the guy's neck and out his mouth and shit. That was a good one. You know, it's all practical effects and stuff. And I think it's a solid film. What did you end up giving this one?
I gave it a 7.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was giving it to. Originally I was in it like a 6.5, and I'm like, nah, I think I like it more than that.
Same thing. I actually, again, talking about it made me, you know, come up on it a bit.
Yeah, I think I came up on it a little bit too. I mean, honestly, the pros outweigh the cons on this one for myself. I can forgive that.
Like, this is one that I would throw on in a couple years again for Christmas time.
Honestly, dude, when I finished watching, I was like, I would watch that again.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. If I can find rewatchability out of a film, I'm cool with that. So, you know, it's cool. I like It's a Wonderful Life better. But
yeah, of course. I gave that like a fucking 5 out of 5.
Oh, it's great. It's such a good fucking movie. I haven't watched it this year yet, but I gotta watch it again. So, but yeah, 7 out of 10. Saucedo.
Yeah. So I'm definitely not as high as you guys on it. I thought it had a chance to be a good. Like, I thought it was fun at first, and I was just gonna hope it was gonna keep that same energy. But the writing just like was really bad for me. I think by like the second half, I was kind of rolling my eyes by the time she was like, "You're George Barley." Like I was just
I like
kinda,
that. I like that call out, man.
I did too.
I was kind of already just like off of it at that point, and then the ending really didn't help.
Oh, and then I know what you did. You switched it off at that part, and you watched the ending of Silent Night over and over and over and over again until we recorded. You sick fucking bastard. You sick fucking bastard. You got no soul, man. You got no soul.
If my glowing review of a 4-hour misery piece last week wasn't enough indicator I don't have a soul, I don't know what is. But yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It didn't really overstay its welcome, and it's not like boring or anything. But I don't think it's great. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't overstay its welcome. It's like under 90 minutes. I think it runs about 83 before the credits kick in. So it's like, it's a pretty quick watch. Like, honestly, I was never bored throughout the film at all. Like, it kept my attention through the whole thing. There's just parts of it that I just thought were better than others, kind of thing, right? So,
well, yeah, here's how I know that I'm like at least half interested in a movie. If I start it at work and then I'm like, I'm actually going to watch this at home.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, that's It's a Wonderful Knife from 2023, and that concludes episode 249. We don't have a big extravaganza episode planned for 250. That's just going to be the year-end show, which kind of works itself
We're taking
out.
a break here.
Right, yeah, so we're going to take the next 2 weeks off for prep for 2023, and then we'll be recording, I think, on January 7th or something. 7th or something, yeah. And then we'll be back to regular programming after that. We don't really we have a ton of shows lined up. We just don't know which ones. Well, I think we do actually. I think we actually
do have.
I think we have everything planned out up until like the 2011 top 10 show. So there'll be a couple top 10 shows coming here shortly. So stay tuned for those.
Yep.
And
we got a bunch of ideas planned. We literally have so much stuff that there's not enough time to do all the stuff we want to do.
Yeah, there's like, so we just went overboard with the ideas. So like, yeah. But we'll continue along with the zoology shows. I don't know which one we're going to do next because we only really planned out the first 3, which was slugs. I don't know why we ended up doing, no, not slugs. It was cockroaches. That was the weirdest first.
Cockroaches. I like cockroaches, damn it.
And then, but dogs and cats. So I don't know what the fourth one's going to be.
Yeah, dogs, cats.
Maybe we should do bears because there's so many bears. Movies.
We were originally going to do Bears as volume 2 because we were going to do it with Cocaine Bear when it came out.
Oh, right. I didn't even think about Cocaine Bear.
And then 2 other bear films.
I was thinking of like Grizzly and like Prophecy and like shit like that from those good fun
Prophecy.
70s.
I haven't seen Prophecy. I've almost watched it multiple times.
Oh, Grizzly has the funniest fucking ending ever to it, man. It fucking makes me. It's so Jaws. It's so fucking Jaws.
But there's so many zoology shows we could do. Bees, snakes.
Well, we have a list of like 30 of them.
Alligators,
sharks.
Oh,
fuck! You could do 100 volumes of sharks.
Yeah, you could do.
But I think it's kind of more interesting to do more of the ones that there's not a shit ton of movies for.
Yeah,
we should do ants.
Stuff that's a little bit more obscure. We could do bats.
Ants and bats. I love. There's a lot of good ant films. Surprisingly,
bats.
Like Phase 4.
Yeah, there is.
Like the movie Ants, right?
Empire. I think there's one Empire of Ants.
There's tons.
Them. You can't do them because it's like giant ants. That would be a fun one to put in there.
Oh, the Atomic Age one.
Different type of ants.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
The Atomic Age.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do ants next. That
dinosaurs.
Fun. No,
dinosaurs would be fun. I have a ton of dinosaur movies, man. It's so fucking weird.
All right. There's the Relic.
The Relic,
man.
The Relic, the museum one where like the old like.
Oh god, I hate that movie.
Yeah,
the Relic, like the one from like 95. The one from like 95. Yeah. Man, I haven't seen that movie forever, dude. I do have a copy of it.
I actually watched it this year. I made a list of like probably like the 100 most like popular horror movies I hadn't seen, whether they're good or not. And that one was on it, so I watched it.
You can't even see anything in that movie.
Yeah, it's not shot well. Calvarie was on that list too, so that was cool to knock that out.
Nice.
But yeah, the bunch of zoology shows. Got some trilogies, some other stuff, director spotlights. I think we got an OG versus remake somewhere in there that we have planned. So, we'll be. I mean, we're on a stretch right now. We're going to take a little break, but I'm having a lot of fun with you guys doing these.
Yeah, I think the show after the top 10 in 2023 was actually scheduled to be the Offspring trilogy.
Yeah, so that's.
I think so. It's definitely before the 2011 that it was.
And then we had Canuxploitation Volume 1, which is Canadian films. I mean, this movie right here could have fit that category. Yeah, it's going to be Canadian slashers essentially. And then we're going to do a serial killer, probably Volume 1, but we're going to specify or do specifically.
It's Volume 2. We did Serial Killers Volume 1 already.
Right, Volume 2, which is going to be Jeffrey Dahmer, trilogy of like Dahmer films. And then we do have a blank spot in there. I don't know what that's about. And then it's like OG verse remake, which was, what were we going to do?
I forgot.
Carnival Souls.
Oh, Carnival Souls.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep.
And then that's what that leading into the top 10 of 2011. And then we just have fucking millions of ideas. Actually, yeah, it says Zoology Volume 4 was bears. And then 5 was birds.
Bears.
Oh, yeah, birds. Remember? Because I picked up caw because we're going to do caw.
Caw, beaks, and
Birdemic.
There was another one.
Was it Birdemic?
No. I actually have that written down as the trilogy for Birdemic.
That'll be Zoology Volume 10, Birds 2, Birdemic trilogy.
Or we can just do an off one and just do a Birdemic trilogy.
Yeah,
extra suffering.
What do you guys think out there? What do you want us to do that? It'll be fun.
Oh God,
that's gonna be tough.
I picked up that box set, man, from Severin. I was like, I had to do it, dude.
If we do it, I'm picking up the box set. That's the cheapest damn thing Severin's released in 10 years.
I know. It was so I couldn't
It was like $30.
It's like a trophy of my suffering.
I honestly could not believe that they made 3 of those. Like, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah. But yeah, so many cool shows. I mean, we have tons more ideas too. I'm sure we'll let the listeners pick something again in one day, we'll get them involved a little bit. But yeah, it was a nice stretch, dude. We went through Italian Horror Month, Halloween, Christmas, and now we're kind of in the tail end of the first half of the season, and we'll be coming back with the top 10 show, which is always a fun one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the 10th show since we've been back from our break, so
nice.
We're pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a nice consistent stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. So next week, or not next week, in 2 weeks, man, top 10, 20. Yeah, it's fucking crunch time, man. And the thing is, it's going to be tough too, man. I'm going to have to get a lot of films watched this week because I'm actually heading to my cabin for Christmas this year. So I'm going to be out there for like 4 days. So I'm not really going to be watching too much out there. So it's going to be super crunch time, man. Oh,
yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I mean, I have a short list of films. I got a short list of films that I want to check out. Hopefully a couple of them come in and shit. So, but I don't know, man. So far, I'm just like, get this year over with. Like, fuck. Oh man, I just want to focus on the rest of the prep for 2011 and forget 2024 exists until like halfway through the year.
Yeah, I'm pretty much pumping the brakes on 2011, and pretty much from here on out, I'm doing only Christmas movies for the next couple days, and then straight into 2023. Dude, it's so weird because I think I'm at 40 some watches or something like that, and
2023 or 11.
2023, and there's still so many movies that I have that I added late to the list of recommendations that I've heard other people say. So I got to start getting to those.
Yeah, 2023 is kind of a fire hose. Like, they're just flying out.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. All right. I'm hungry. Need to go eat. So that's it. We're out of here. Check you guys in a couple weeks. Deuces.
Cadavers.
Cadavers.
That's all, folks.